Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
Folks, we are live. It is the Late Night Grin, the flagship, episode 136. Tonight we're going to preview All Elite Wrestling Presents Full Gear. Our leader, Joe Hobart, is off tonight. He is meeting with the transition team about a possible cabinet position in the next administration. But in the meantime, we are here to hold down the fort. I'm joined by the gentleman you see on your screen, which is not helpful to you if you're listening to this on Spotify or any of our other many services that we are probably on. We will also be joined by Marcus here shortly. We believe there's a bird loose in his dwelling. That's unconfirmed. In the meantime, Novi, you're actually hosting this thing. It's just my ego that I have to start the show if Joe's not here. So first I'll ask you how you're doing, and then I'll hand it over to you.
Well, we have to, give your ego a little place on the show, of course. That's,
right.
You're a big booker nowadays. You got a big new show going on.
It's true.
But shoot, I'm doing good. It's been a great day. I was at work, just chilling, hanging out, putting boxes where boxes need to be at the old warehouse. And then I checked my phone, and my pal, my real life pal, says, "Holy shit, 30 minutes ago, what the fuck is going on?" And I look at it. Kendrick Lamar dropped a surprise album today. Oh my God. I've listened to it 4 times now. It's multiple songs, a little more than that. It's fantastic. It made my day, very fun. I was very, very much looking forward to it as well. Hopefully, it's just a good time. That's all it comes down to, really.
Oracle, what'd you think of the new Kendrick album?
So the last new Kendrick album I remember was in 2012 when his big famous EP came out, and that's about the last time I listened to Kendrick Lamar. So I don't know, for 12 years.
Honestly,
but I do want to just give a shout out to Joe and just let him know that I believe the Attorney General spot is open. So but anyways. I'm good. We're going to talk about.
Did we ask him how he was doing?
No, I just started doing that.
No, yeah. I just decided to just free will himself. I think this is is this the AEW pay-per-view with the most singles matches? One of them?
Sure, if you want.
Okay, I guess.
Take your word for it.
Research team, check on that for us.
A lot of 1v1s, maybe.
I'll check the cage match later.
There is a lot, though. To be fair, you're probably right.
Yeah.
8?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Is it really? It's 9 matches, and 8 of them are just singles matches.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's only one
kind of
tag.
beast, honestly.
Yeah,
or 4-way tag, I should say.
Yeah, 4-way.
Yeah. It's looking to be a good one. There's, a lot to talk about with singles matches. It's a fun time, Kaden Lee, you're also on the show. Did you listen to Kendrick today?
I did. And Novi, my week started out really good. And like Matt Gates, it went downhill very quickly. And it ended kind of on a poor note as my car broke down this morning. And I had to replace my starter. I now have to replace my brakes. Kendrick Lamar did drop, though, and it made my day a little bit better. But, we're here.
Well, the biggest problem with that, Kaden, is that I'm now going to have to replace you because you were going to join me at WrestleCade, and now you're not going anymore. I think, here's my theory, fellas. I think it's just a ploy to not have dinner with me. I'm thinking these things. I think he just doesn't fuck with me.
I think that's pretty much a lock, honestly.
Yeah, I can't blame you for thinking that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Kentucky, Florida plus Texas. I don't know, man.
A little bit of a rivalry there. A couple of
Personal.
them.
Yeah.
Well, Kentucky basketball is back, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have Florida. We'll get to Florida talk later because Marcus will be here soon, so we'll dive into that. But there is something we should dive into, right? So how we always start these shows. We have to, pull out our phone, check the weather app. Is it frigid outside? Is it warm? I don't know. Shit, what do you think?
What do I think? You're asking me for a temp check on All Elite Wrestling?
Oh God.
So there's a lot of mixed messages right now. Weather's inconsistent. There's some things that I think are pretty cold at the moment. Creative would be one of them. But there's also some promising signs on the horizon. The smaller buildings I'm quite excited about. I'm not going to lie.
Including the Knoxville Civic Coliseum.
Yeah, man.
Attending.
Oracle, they're running a fucking theater in Phoenix. Like an actual theater, like with a stage and an orchestra pit. And
That's awesome.
It looks gorgeous.
The Civic Coliseum is a really cool looking building. I've been there for WWE House Show. It's gonna look. All these smaller venues are gonna look different too. That's like, and they're gonna be able to fill them up mostly. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna make their shows so much better.
The Hammerstein thing looks promising.
Sold very well for that too.
Sold very well for that.
Can't be another company.
No, they got a little mad at it. That's all.
There's rumors of production changes. I'm not going to let myself get too optimistic about that because they probably won't be changes that I'll like. But maybe we'll get lucky, And I want to be clear, I don't even have anything to suggest because I don't really know how you reinvent that wheel at this point. But I would really like them to try something different. I'm not planning to. Go ahead.
The only thing I can say about like production is as somebody who watched a lot of Grapsody when Will Washington was on, Will Washington was a very big fan of the New Japan style of not using the hard cam as much and working to ringside cameras. I would not be against them trying that and seeing if it works, doing that New Japan camera style.
Would be smart to do with the smaller venues too.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to, obviously there'll be
no
more
one's in
packed
your
people in there.
buildings. You have to use the hard cam, but
It should get a little better though with the small buildings. That should heat things up a little bit.
I think it will get a little bit. I'm not sure how much better it will get, but I think it will improve things.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things you can probably like point to right now that makes it feel a little cold is just sometimes the buildings can be rough. Like Wednesday, not a good crowd. And I don't even necessarily blame the crowd. I just don't think there was many people in there. That's all. So if
better than last week.
I didn't think the crowd was that bad, but I will say that I watched it today after 2 days of seeing people talk about how bad the crowd was. So it was probably I just had such low expectations. I was like, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Very up and down episode of the Dynamite, but you can't win them all.
Yeah. Kaden, temperature? What do you think?
We just got our first cold front in Florida. And it's actually like really cold in my apartment right now. I'm a little chilly. And AEW also a little bit frigid in there. Definitely cold. I think it could heat up. Tony Khan seems to think it will with the Continental Classic. And I hope it does. I hope we get another heat wave coming in. We're supposed to get one in Florida next weekend. So I'd like to see that pattern follow a little bit.
Maybe you're noticing some things happen at the same time. The C2 is, that's a bright spot for it. Last year did a lot for him. So I think maybe this year could do the same depending on how that lineup might look. Oracle, you had a very...
They announced it, huh?
That would be nice. I would like to do a little bracket prediction maybe. That would be fun. Of course, we can all, have our fun predicting it, but...
We'll have it Tuesday.
We'll have it soon. Oracle, you had a very, I don't know how to describe it. It was just, I don't know, it was a look on your face when I said that. It's interesting. About the temp. About how,
temp?
the temp is just, I've lived in East Tennessee for 25 years. This shit's weather's weird,
just up and down stuff. It just gets kind of, it gets kind of tiresome after a while.
Yeah.
It's so reckless, It's chaotic.
Oracle.
Yeah.
We got a super chat that I'm gonna let you read.
Okay.
We're gonna try out some new roles for you. You're in charge of reading super chats tonight. Here you go.
Bruh!
Yeah, I don't think that was right, but I think that's Burr. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Second time. It's all good.
Thanks for the money, just to say that. Appreciate it,
That's sick.
Mark.
Well, some people might be saying it's burr, and some people might be saying it's heating up because we have a nice pre-show to cover on this. To be honest with you, there's one big match. We'll end the pre-show on that. How about it, fellas? What do you think? End the pre-show on that? Because there's been some other little announcements. There's some rumors of Anna Jay and Deonna Purrazzo, which is, it's okay. It's fun. Anna Jay minutes.
That's actually an interesting one to me.
Yeah.
Joe and I were talking about this earlier. You guys may have heard of Joe Holbert. Good friend of mine.
Not around here, brother.
Anyway, that's actually the finish of that match is very interesting. Because are they ever actually going to do anything with Deonna? Has she earned them doing anything with her? Also debatable. But then are you going to beat Anna again? I'm not sure what they're going to do here, honestly.
Yeah. It's a little up in the air.
If they even do the match, I guess.
It's just a rumor so far. It's just a rumor. I think that's about as much as there is to say. But there is another match on here too that I'm quite excited about because Kaden informed us of this. Kaden, you told us.
Hold on.
Novi.
Hold on.
What do you want to say about Anna Jay, bro?
Hold on. Oracle, your thoughts on Anna Jay this year?
Oh, good call.
Anna Jay has improved. I personally don't think she's good still, but
all right, we can move on to the next.
See, bro. See, I was looking out for her, bro.
I have something to say.
There's an actual effort there, and I always appreciate the effort. And that sounds like an underhanded comment, but I don't mean it that way.
Yeah, Kaden, you have something to say?
Yeah, Deonna Purrazzo is now with Taya Valkyrie. They're doing that little duo thing. I feel like this is prime for a Ty Mello return.
Oh,
good call.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if on the 0 hour, it feels like they're gonna they could either just do the return there, or they could have you can have Deonna win by using Taya as help, and you can have Ty return at some point in the next 2-3 weeks.
That would be sweet. I do miss Ty, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she's close. She's been training for 2 or 3 months.
Makes a lot of sense.
That'd be cool. It'd be a cool moment too for the pre-show,
Yeah, I would do it.
I think we, covered all our bases there. Anna, Deonna. There's a lot of, a lot of things happening in this next one though. Kaden, you alerted me of it before we went live. Dante Martin, the Beast Mortos, Komander, and Buddy Matthews, a 4-way. Big time 4-way. Should be some high flying in this. Oracle, that's your favorite, right? This should be a good match, huh?
I mean, this match is not really for me, but Buddy Matthews is gonna I don't know, pick somebody up and give him a brain buster and hit a flying knee and do his toe pick on Hilo, and the Commander's gonna walk the ropes and run the ropes a bunch, and Beast Mortos is gonna base for everybody and look pretty good doing it, and Dante Martin will be there, and that's basically the gist of it.
It's a good descriptor.
Yeah.
Shoot.
He's pretty right. I agree with most of that. I think Commander's had actually a pretty good year. He's kind of won me over.
Was he the one who had the good match with Kyle Fletcher?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, that match
Collision.
was good. I didn't like as much as it. Or it was a Collision. You're right. I didn't like as much as probably everybody else here, but it was good. It was good.
Did you see his match with Shelton last week?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was good.
He's wrestling at Cesaro on Rampage next Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. They taped that already. They taped that Wednesday night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
just
they're
kinda
doing
sweet.
so the Rampage for next Saturday.
Yeah, Collision is at 4:00 on Saturday next week.
Because they don't want to run against Survivor Series.
No, there's basketball. I mean, I'm sure it helps, but there actually is basketball on it.
Gotcha.
Okay, but it does. I'm sure they're benefiting from that as well.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, there's they taped Rampage already, and it's like all
CMLL?
Yeah, it's like Lucha Libre themed. With Harley Cameron also in a hologram mask.
What they call her? Harley
Graham. Yeah, she had a promo tonight in the mask.
It's kind of funny.
She's a beast.
Not gonna love her.
Oracle, your thoughts on Harley Cameron?
I thought the segment with Mina Shirakawa was one of the greatest in the history of the business. Other than that, I mean, she reminds me of like a Chelsea Green or a Billie Kay who really kind of know that they're not necessarily going to be some work rate machine or whatever, so they put everything into their character work and it gets over. So I mean, credit to her. I'm not as into her as others, but I do appreciate that she is different.
She's quirky.
Yes.
Which is good. It's good to have that on the show, I think. Just a little bit of quirkiness, a little bit of silliness here and there. Kaden, you're a fan. Are you going to be a fan of this match, you think?
I'll probably end up quite enjoying this. I think Dante has been like kind of mid since coming back from his injury, unfortunately. But like, I don't know, give him a chance to do something. I quite enjoy Komander more than a lot of people do. Buddy Matthews is obviously Buddy Matthews. Beast Mortos fucking rules. I also believe that all 4 of these men will be in the Continental Classic. I think that is why they're doing this match. I have been very purposefully watching what they've been doing on TV and going into the Continental Classic. And the biggest thing I've noticed is Komander's been having a lot of matches, which makes me think he will be in the Continental Classic. Shelton doing that match with him on Collision also makes me think that Shelton is going to be in it and will be on the Collision side on the Blue League. Bud Matt like doesn't ever work singles, which convinces me that like he's doing this to get ready for the C2. And same with Dante, because Dante's been in Top Flight. So like I already thought Beast Mortos and Komander would be in there, but Matthews and Dante being in this match specifically makes me think they're also going to be in this tournament.
That was kind of what I was thinking too, looking at it. Because I think Mortos is a lock for it.
Yeah.
I don't think the other 3 were necessarily a lock, but Mortos is definitely a lock. I don't think I want to see Dante in the C2. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
He hasn't been very interesting lately. He just doesn't do anything
we got people
special.
Novi, I was looking at your list. I was looking at my list of people. Like I'm looking at all these C2 lists. The biggest problem all these lists have for who you want in it is there aren't people on these lists who can take pins. Dante Martin needs to be in there to play the Jay Lethal role.
I think we can get a better person to play the Jay Lethal role, though. I think we can have someone in there.
Options, man. Like there really aren't.
Robbie Strong in there to play the Jay Lethal role just to piss off Joe. That seems spiteful, didn't it?
A little bit.
That's fine.
Yes.
I mean, it's not the worst thing that anyone said about Joe tonight. So, all right, Novi. Before we move on, here's your Rampage card for next Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. With no spoilers.
I'm gonna be a WrestleCade.
No,
watch
so you won't even see this, which makes this even funnier.
Don't worry, Kaden can watch it. Brick.
So it's Thunder Rosa versus Harley Graham. Hechicero versus Komander.
Sweet.
The Beast Mortos versus Serpentico.
Oh.
And then we have a 6-man tag of Action Andretti and Top Flight versus Atlantis Jr., Mascara Dorada, and Katsuyori Shibata.
Oh, hold on now.
Oh.
That's kind of a funny match, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is.
It's quirky. Now, given the Rampage card, I feel more like, Kaden, you're probably right. That, like, at least 3 of these guys are going in. Bud Matt is like, I don't know, maybe. But at least 3 of those guys, if they're working Rampage and stuff like that, doing all that beforehand, I think, could probably see something.
I'm convinced Komander's in it, in Beast Mortos. Like, those are the 2 I really think are going to be in it.
Yeah. It should be exciting. It should be a fun match. A little preview, maybe, of some C2 action. But there's something, fellas, we've got to talk about on this pre-show.
Marcus says he's back, so I'm going to add him.
Well, Marcus is back? Well,
You
good.
know,
It's perfect
hopefully he's
timing.
actually back. Marcus, are you there?
I'm alive. I'm here.
Yeah.
The big man is back.
I am back. I'm finally ready to check back in the game. I see Novi steering the ship. And when I got the news he was about to do it, you know I had to show up because he got the keys to the castle. You know?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You doing good today, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm doing a little good today. Got caught up in a little emergency right quick, so I had to deal with that.
Was it a bird?
Something like that.
Fair.
Something like that. Marcus, you came in at a great time, is what I'll say here. Because the last match of the pre-show, this is the big one. This is the one that everyone cares about. Look, the Costco guys are a wonderful two fellows. Wonderful couple fellows. They've been promoting this match and this show better than anyone on the AEW roster. Going on Fox Business, going on Jimmy Fallon, promoting talking about the arena, selling his, finishing move, talking about the special guest appearance we're gonna see here. It's great work from Big Boom AJ, who is gonna take on QT Marshall with the Rizzler as timekeeper.
Let's fucking go.
Ringing the bell is the Rizzler. We're bringing the boom, fellas. We're locked in. AJ, he sold a diamond cutter today. That made me believe he might be the real.
What a worker.
What a worker. We're up for this. Marcus, you're definitely up for this, brother. How are you feeling?
Brother, tomorrow night, the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, we're going to bring the boom. Boom QT Marshall through that ring, and the Rizzler will ring that bell, and Big Justice will be in the cut. I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded. They're real workers. We went from 6,000 at one point to they got this match announced. They went on a crazy spree. Right then, they're 10,000 for the Prudential Center. That tells you all I need to know about these two right here. Usually, I would thumb my nose or be kind of weary of these type of things happening in wrestling, but they've just been so good at the time that they've been given on TV, and they promote the absolute shit out of this every chance they've gotten. So I'm locked in. Plus, I love the Costco guys as it is. They're just really fun. It's really wholesome.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Look, there's talks about there not being draws in wrestling anymore, but we've found the draw in wrestling. Kaden, how are you feeling about the Costco guys? Are you bringing the boom?
Mm-hmm. And you know who I'm there for, though, Novi?
Oh.
Let's go.
The God, the Rizzler. Look, I love AJ. I love Big Justice. I am genuinely I've been fans of these guys for months, and I wanted them to do something at All Out, and they did. And then AJ said he was going to work the match. I genuinely love them, but no one understands how big of a fan I am of the Rizzler. My feed is just Rizzler. My girlfriend, I've made my girlfriend a fan of the Rizzler, so now her TikTok For You page is just all the Rizzler.
Is your phone back on the Rizzler too?
Just all the Rizzler. The Rizzler is the greatest of all time. Once they announced the Rizzler, I almost bought a last minute flight to Newark. I gotta be honest, everybody.
That's what I'm saying. The draw. There's a couple of them here. Real draws in wrestling again.
The Rizzler sold over 1,000 tickets to this show.
Well, Marcus just said he sold over 4,000. So
yeah, man. Oh yeah.
And that's due to no one else but him. You know what I mean?
All the Rizzler.
Shoot. Are you bringing a double chocolate chunk cookie to the pre-show?
All right, I want you guys to bear with me here.
This will be good.
I've seen some of their videos. I don't fucking get it at all. I think it's quite stupid. But
Always a but.
This motherfucker gets the business at a level that half their fucking roster doesn't. So for this specific match, yes. I'm not gonna fucking say it, but yes.
What are you bringing, Shoot? Tell me.
No.
You gotta tell me what you're bringing, Shoot. You gotta tell me.
You gotta be all in, or you not. Them's the rules.
Are you in or out, bro?
Am I bringing
the
boom?
big
The boom?
Boom!
Good God. Anyway,
Let's fucking go.
Tony Khan should
Gold
sign
review.
AJ to a contract as an ambassador to the company. I'm being dead serious.
Yes.
He should be go on fucking media tours to sell every pay-per-view they do going forward. And if that means he's got to wrestle on the pre-show on every one of them, then fine. Because
Diamond
this
cutter.
dude gets it, man. Like, I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I saw a friend of the program, Contrarian Alex, did a tweet praising his promo and got like fucking
This is a hit tweet.
39,000 likes. Like,
Jesus
the dude
Christ.
even draws for us dorks on Twitter. Like, yeah. And I like QT. I think this match will actually be pretty good.
Mhm.
I would assume that AJ's probably not that good just because he never really accomplished much. No disrespect. I'm
Did
guessing
you
he's
see the
probably
indie
not
clips?
like the. I haven't. No.
Hey, man. He's
He
doing his
hitting
thing.
those power bombs, brother. The power booms. He's
Power
hitting them.
boom.
I think this match will be good. QT's a really good wrestler. Whatever you think of him as like a personality and all that, he's a really good in-ring wrestler. And I think this match will be very well done.
Yeah.
And I would expect that it's going to be quite loud in that building. So I'm actually looking forward to this.
Mhm.
And so now that we've all said this, let's kill the room and send it to Oracle.
Now.
Hold on
You
now,
go
hold
to a
on,
fever
hold on.
pitch, and all of a sudden we're just gonna die on its ass.
Listen. I got no problem with this. I think the guy clearly knows what he's doing in terms of promoting the match. But honestly, the only thing that really popped me going into this was when they showed that video of Big Justice saying Rizzler's shoot name. So my hope is that the Rizzler gets a ring bell and attacks Big Justice and turns heel on him for taking out, for saying his shoot name. So that's really what I want to happen.
Mhm.
But otherwise, yeah, I mean, this is if anything, I agree with Shoot that they should hire AJ and like legitimately make him a spokesman for the company.
The chat is saying that the Twitter post with the video from Wednesday has 11 million views.
Jesus.
The YouTube
It was
had
like
like
6
2
last I
million.
checked.
Yeah. This is easy money right here. That's gonna get he's gonna hit that power boom. It's gonna get him 18. It's gonna be nuts. But there is something I have to bring up. So I obviously do the pre-shows on Wednesday, and I have one hell of a chat. And one of the chatters, I forget who it was, brought this idea up. Does Big Justice run the blade for the Rizzler?
I need it.
Could be an all-timer angle. Could be. We're on the verge. I don't know what they're, what they allow or don't allow in Newark, but they got to make some exceptions here. That's all there is to say, I need to see it. That'll be his second, because we can run Big Justice and the Rizzler in a one-on-one, can't we?
I'm pretty sure it's the New York Athletic Commission that's more strict, right?
Yeah, because they couldn't bleed Grand Slam.
Yeah, New Jersey's easy.
Easy. Here we go. We're locked in. Look, that's a 5 for 5 across the panel. We are locked in for
Am
Big
I the only
Justice.
one who watched Rampage tonight?
Yep.
No, but they did a weigh-in for this match on Rampage, and like Big Justice got a promo. Oh, you
I'm
saw?
gonna watch it.
Yeah, I guess you said you saw the diamond cutter, whatever he calls it.
I saw the
QT
cutter, but
whatever.
I didn't see the other thing. Oh, actually, he said on the RJ show, the AEW, apparently he's really mad that people call it the QT cutter because Diamond Dallas passed it down to him specifically, and so he wants people to call it the diamond cutter specifically.
The other big bit on that show was that QT rigged the scales so that Big Boom AJ weighed 550 pounds.
That's the wrestling hijinks I need sometimes. Especially on Rampage. What the fuck?
That's funny as fuck.
Is this was that the first weigh-in they've done since the Cody and
I think so.
Go one?
Swerve and Ospreay did one.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
That's
right.
That one was just that wasn't much of anything though. It was just didn't Ospreay just kind of pull his pants down, step on the scale, and
they did that an
look at each
actual
other?
professional weigh-in.
Yeah. It wasn't an angle situation.
Swerve did one hell of a fucking house call on him. That was pretty gas, I will say.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could start with that. Maybe Swerve will be wrestling on AEW Full Gear. He's going to be taking on the Hurt Syndicate's Bobby Lashley. Big Bob Lash in the dub, taking on Swerve. This is an interesting clash of styles, I'll say. So there's some things we can point to maybe be a little worried about, but I think I trust both these guys. Oracle, do you trust both these folks to have a good match?
I do. I think this is the best and most interesting thing going in AEW right now. The last 2 weeks haven't been quite as interesting as the first few. I still think this is the most compelling and well done program in the company right now. They have left me wanting to see this match. I definitely want to see it. They've built to it really well. MVP's promos are awesome. The Hurt Syndicate stuff is just fucking kick ass. They look cool. They kick ass. Swerve is feels like he's getting back into his rhythm and coming back from those big losses in the summer. And I think he's the most protected babyface on the roster. And when you protect your baby faces, this is because he's lost two huge matches this year, and he doesn't feel any less than he was.
Yeah. And
I can't say the same for Will Ospreay. I can't say the same for Orange Cassidy. I can't say the same for Darby Allin. Swerve feels like a tip-top guy, a top baby face. So credit for that. And yeah, this still feels like a big fight feel match. I want to see, and I think it will kick ass. I do think it will be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of out of the loop in terms of the rumor mill and whatnot lately. But I don't know. Is there supposed to be interference or something? I don't know. Maybe, possibly. I'm sure Shelton or whoever will get involved. But in terms of wanting to see the match and thinking it will be good, I think it will be very, very good. I think it'll be one of the better matches on the show.
It's exciting. Swerve has done a lot to maintain his stardom throughout this year. He's been the most notable. There was a question posed on Twitter, who's AEW's number one babyface? And there was a lot of replies that said Swerve, and I think that's credit to him. I know, Marcus, you're a very big fan of Swerve. I know you're up for Big Bob Lash. How you feeling going into this one, brother?
It's big business, baby. It's big heart business. It's the big syndicate. Man, let me tell you. This match in and of itself, in terms of the styles, it's actually pretty fascinating because Swerve is a unique wrestler, right? Bobby is double that and also holy shit in terms of the rest of the roster because he's just a big powerhouse that even at his age can still move the way he does, and he just throws people to the fucking mat. You remember that segment they did a couple weeks ago where he just absolutely just chokeslam Swerve straight to hell?
Yeah.
I expect that to happen about 10, 15 times in the match. I expect Swerve to try to, if he's going to win, he's going to more or less survive instead of straight up beat him if that happens. And if Bobby does win, I think he's just going to run him the fuck over.
Yep. I think that'd be the right route to take. I think it works best for both guys. Kaden, do you agree?
So what I picture in this match and what I think they should do, I don't necessarily think it's what they're going to do, but what I think they should do. Go back to 2021 Money in the Bank. Bobby Lashley wrestled Kofi Kingston on that show. That's the type of match this should be. He should just obliterate Swerve. Don't go that long. Keep it maybe under 12 minutes. Just have him destroy the guy. You take him off TV, you come back, you run another match at Revolution in LA. But this should genuinely be a destruction of Swerve Strickland. That's how you really create Bobby. And then after the match, you have the Hurt Syndicate get in there and you add the fourth man, they beat down Swerve even further, and you really just you take that man out and you cement this group. That is what you kind of need to do at this point, because AEW has an issue with they introduce every act really well, the Death Riders introduce so well, and they lose steam real quickly. And a great way to not lose steam here and to make them a threat going forward is just to beat the living shit out of Swerve Strickland.
And that's kind of what they're all about too. They're just dudes who beat the fuck out of people. And I think that'd be perfect for Bob Lash. There was mention there of a fourth member. Shoot, any ideas on what that could be, and what's your thoughts on the match?
I mean, they've planted a lot of seeds. My best guess is that it'll be Leo Rush. I thought it was very interesting that he stayed out there. That was last week, right? When he wrestled Swerve. And they made sure to show him in the background multiple times, like watching what was happening. But there's a few things. I mean, there's a few people in play. There's a couple of them that I'm not that excited about. But still, they're lingering on this Max Caster thing a lot, man. Like, I'm not
worried
saying
about it.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be Bowens.
Yeah, that would actually be really interesting. Yeah,
there's a good name too. There's also a lot of people have been wanting to see Kevin Knight.
I'm sold for Kevin Knight.
That's who I want.
I
don't think it's gonna be Kevin Knight. That's who I want it to be.
It doesn't seem likely, but it's definitely a name that's been floated a lot.
Ricochet's still in play. I don't think that's going to happen, but
that's not a good idea either.
Yeah, in theory it's in play, but I don't think that's the move. Now, in terms of this match, well, I like your idea, Kaden. I don't think that they can afford to have Swerve be gone for another 4 months. He's already been gone some this year. And they are in a tough spot here because, look, Swerve has taken 2 big losses, and he's probably going to, I think he's probably going to lose this match. I think he has to. I don't think you can beat Bobby Lashley in his, I mean, it's not his first match technically because he wrestled Wednesday, kind of, but his first real match.
We can forget about that one on Wednesday. We can move past that one.
As fun as it was, forget it.
Yeah.
It'll be, man, that chat just said a Shelton and Leo Rush tag team.
Oh, pretty sweet.
Sign me
that
up.
would be gas.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Because it's good. As cool as Shelton has been, he's clearly been blown up a couple times in those matches. So if you had if you could tag out and they need a tag team.
Be a good.
The company does, not necessarily the Hurt Syndicate.
Be a good match for Private Party too. That one right there.
Yeah. But yeah, this match, I think I need to look. I haven't seen Bobby have a real match in years because I don't watch WWE. So I'm actually interested to see what he looks like here. I've had some people that whose opinions I trust say that he was starting to slip there near the end in WWE.
Joe Holbert.
Yeah, thank you. So I just want to see it. I'm not saying it's true. But I do want to see what he looks like tomorrow night. And obviously I have the utmost confidence in Swerve. I do think this will be I think this will be good. The atmosphere hopefully will be really strong for this. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously this is not the end of the feud. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. But they are, Swerve so far has done a really good job of taking these losses and not hurting him. But you're going to start playing with fire soon.
You don't want to overstep. That's a dangerous game to play, especially we've seen it done with Ospreay. They've overstepped a little bit on that front. And I think maybe there could be some overstepping on this show because Ospreay will be wrestling Kyle Fletcher in another one-on-one. This is an interesting match. I think genuinely it could go both ways. Ospreay, as it's been mentioned in the chat when we brought up, babyface of AEW, he is very selfless. Fletcher is his very good friend. So we could see this go either way, but there's also been some talk of maybe Ospreay in the C2. I know, Kaden, you're a big proponent of that. So I'm curious to see, where do you think this match will go?
Throwing it to me?
Yeah.
Okay. I flipped on this one a little bit. I was convinced that Kyle needed the win. I'm not convinced on that anymore, to be honest. I think Will really needs it. I think Will needs it. I think the company needs it. You can't let him go losing 2 pay-per-views in a row. And I think it would be fine to have Will give Kyle the win in the Continental Classic, because Ospreay, if he's going to be in the Continental Classic, needs at least 1 loss at some point in the tournament. And that gives you a match to the way I see it. I think Will Ospreay is winning the Continental Classic and is going to take that title from Okada in the Tokyo Dome. And if that's the plan, that also leads to my theory. That's my theory for a while has been that they're going to run Okada, or they're going to run Ospreay and Fletcher in Australia. And if you have Kyle win in the Continental Classic rather than here, that is a very easy way to make that match. It's easier there, I think, than if you do it here, because it's in the tournament and the stakes of the Continental Championship are on the line. Obviously, you could do it here too, but I think Will needs it on the pay-per-view. Kyle can get it later and be fine.
it's a different thing losing in a like singles match on pay-per-view than losing on TV, and like because those matches have gone some interesting directions in the C2 last year. There's been some upset victories, so it wouldn't be that crazy.
I think that's I think it's the best scenario, and then Kyle can beat Will for that Continental Championship.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat, but I'm curious. Our resident Will Ospreay lover, Oracle of Wrestling. Just how you feeling?
You know, I agree with, I don't know who said it in the chat. I have to go back, but I think this should be just like a bloodbath, honestly.
Shout out Kale.
You know, I don't know. If they do the moves thing, like I know that's Will's thing and Fletcher's to a degree too, but I mean the way this feud's been, you need to bleed and stuff, man. I mean, this needs to be a bloodbath. Like I know we'll probably get that with Mox and OC, but like they should probably beat the shit out of each other here. I know it's like the first big singles match, but like I don't know. I have no interest in the way that they've built this. I have no interest in seeing them do their typical thing, song and dance. Which is if they do, I mean, I'll be annoyed with it to be honest with you, but like whatever. I do think Will should win this match. It definitely feels like he needs a win here.
Yeah. Theoretically, you'd want this to be, it's not necessarily been fully pushed, but you want this to be a very like fiery exchange. You want them to be mad at each other because they're, Fletcher turned on his best friend. That's not cool. That's not very nice. So I'd like to see that sort of match. Shoot, you on the same boat there?
I mean, Ospreay should win. I'm not 100% convinced he's going to, but he should. He's selfless to a fault. Like genuinely, he needs to protect himself better.
Got the Danielson sickness.
Yes, I've been very frustrated with his usage for a while now. From basically the MJF feud on, the MJF feud was a mistake in every way, and actively hurt him. So I mean, it's gonna be like, look, it's tough too because with the way you're presenting Kyle, for him to just lose here, that's tough too. So yeah, it's gonna be. I agree with Oracle. This match needs to be violent and bloody, and Will's certainly capable of doing that. We've seen him do it. Someone in the chat said it, and I was gonna like Roadshow said it, and I agreed. This match should open the show, because you do the bloody match here, and then you give them a long break before. You're right, Mox and Orange will be a bloodbath. But yeah, they got to get Ospreay heated up. I don't. Cold is going too far. He's not cold because he's very over. But he just definitely doesn't feel quite the same as he did a while ago.
It's hard. Like we talked about Swerve earlier on the show. That was his peak of the year. Like his match with Swerve. That was when he felt like at his most hot. That was two stars clashing. They made their decision. They pivoted to the MJF feud after that. That feud just didn't go well. It didn't sit well with Will. This is, he needs a good result here on pay-per-view in a singles match, I think.
That feud was way too damn much. Like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with some of the things that they pulled off in it. It was too much.
Yeah. It definitely didn't feel like the right way to go a little bit. Like, I was hopeful for it, but it didn't end up being that way. I'm hopeful for this match, though. Marcus, are you feeling the same?
Oh, yeah. I have no doubt this match is going to be great because Ospreay is Ospreay. And I've been a big believer in Kyle Fletcher for quite a while now. I think he is starting to kind of come into his own. And he gets better like every single week with something, whether it's him working on his presentation or his moveset is kind of stripped down ever so slightly, or even his promos sometimes. Sure, his voice is a little sing-songy, but I enjoy the content of what he says a good bit. As far as the result, I'm so torn. Ospreay really should win because you don't want him to like overstep in terms of him losing on pay-per-view too much, like we've all said. And then there's the other side of the coin where you want to probably give Kyle an emphatic win on pay-per-view because he's gotten big spots with top talents in the company, like MJF match, wrestled Okada, was Ospreay's first official Dynamite match, and he lost all of them. So, in the back of your mind, you want to give him a big win, but you got the C2. Let him get it back there because it's a tournament. Ospreay can get caught slipping after going through a couple of wars, and then you just give him the win there and then call it a day and figure out what you want to do from there. Right now, just let Big Brother win on pay-per-view. He's missing pay-per-view for a reason. Let him show it. 1, 2, 3, Ospreay.
Yeah.
There.
I'd be down to see that. It's easier to see Fletcher winning like a couple matches in C2. You know, Eddie lost a couple big matches in C2 last year just after he was beat up. Someone caught him slipping. I think we can kind of see something like that. The match should be good though. I'd like to see it be a little heated, but you know, we could get some superhero poses, things of that nature.
Which
We'll
I
see.
ain't mad at, but you're definitely gonna get some shenanigans with Mark Davis. I'm locking it in right now.
Oh yeah. The finish could get a little wonky there. I hope there's no screwdrivers involved. We're very scared of the screwdrivers. Keep that shit away,
Probably
bro.
will be. It will
It'll
be.
probably, yeah. The
Yeah.
other thing I'm torn, and I do think that there's a chance, slim chance, that Davis is going to turn here, and that they're actually going to. I don't know if that's a good idea because then you're kind of slipping him back into. But I feel like it. I feel like it's in play.
Yeah, it's definitely there. They've been teasing it like a tiny, tiny little bit, like with their interactions between him and Fletch. So it's definitely there. I wouldn't want to see it personally. I think he's been good as I want to see him rock as a singles guy. Like
I think it's
he did well.
necessary.
Yeah, he did well in that All-Star tag. I thought he looked great.
Yeah,
I'd want to
he
see
looked
that.
pretty good.
I mean,
I would just like as singles.
yeah, that's the big thing. Is like if you were gonna do it, then they would be teaming up again, and Lord knows they could use that team. But I don't think it's the right move for Fletcher. So, like you're kind of setting him back after everything you've just done. So
Yeah.
probably not what's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
It's very much two ships passing in the night. Like them being a team is probably best for Davis, but it's not in any way, shape, or form the best for Kyle.
yeah, part of me wonders if it would be the better thing for the promotion right now. But that's not fair. That's not fair to Fletcher. But their tag division, man, like Aussie Open would be a jolt to that tag division. And again, I'm saying all this, and I'm not even saying I would do it. I'm just like they need something in the tag division.
Need a little bit of a boost.
Yeah,
And you laid it up there, but we'll do this now. We'll do this now because Jumanji Hunter sent a $5 super chat about Ospreay with hindsight. Actually, Oracle, this is your thing. You do it.
With hindsight, do you have Ospreay win the world title at All In? Would lead to a lot of different things, but in my opinion, still should have been the direction.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble about my take it all in. If I speak,
I am
I'm
right
in
there with you.
big trouble. Big trouble.
As someone who's been very staunchly in support of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson winning it All In, I do think the correct decision would have been to have Ospreay win the title. I think you should have. At that point, he was the hottest guy in the company. Like when we first started discussing it, like when we were late May, right after he wrestled Roderick, he was the hottest guy in the company. He was he was the best. He was the biggest baby face at the time. Like him and Swerve were right there, and Swerve was a tweener, and he was like one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling. Like incredibly hot. After you have the Hangman, sorry, you have the Takeshita match, you have the Danielson match, and you have the Roderick Strong match. I would have put the title on him there.
But here's the thing: when you do that, you're basically switching Swerve and Will there. You're switching their positions. Would I rather see like Will at the top? Because I think it's easier for him to get back to that point than it would be for Swerve in some cases. And I think that Swerve win, like the way he made that match at All In, I like given that, I think that was probably the right choice.
What do you mean?
Like, cause the way they picked Swerve. The match between like Will and Swerve for the title, that was who their choice was going to be for their big baby face going forward and going into All In. And I think if you look back at the All In match,
I don't agree with that because Swerve wasn't the face in the feud with Bryan.
Well, I'm saying like the face of the company, like the face, like that kind of thing. Because it was the two hottest acts going against each other. That was kind of the narrative going in.
I don't think that was the point behind why they did that.
Well, it felt like it to me.
I know that wasn't the point behind what they did that. The point behind why they did that was, it's been long enough. The point behind why they did that was that they wanted to do the match so people weren't worried about it. So people weren't thinking it was going to be at Wembley.
But then still, like, you don't. you're kind of choosing there at the end of the day. You're choosing the Wembley match.
I mean, sure, but that decision was more based off of Brian than it was based off of choosing between who was going to be the face between Swerve and Will. They're different. I think you're thinking that I understand what you're saying. You're saying that I think I know what you're saying. Is that you're saying that like that they did that match. They have Swerve and Ospreay and they decide that who's going to be the face going forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was ever the point of that match.
It's just how it came across. I think to most people, it's how it comes across.
Sure. I don't think that's the goal.
You were saying.
So, I was banging this drum most of spring and summer that Will Ospreay should win the world championship at Wembley. I love Swerve, and it was a tough situation for him to be in. But that's the business. Ospreay was the hottest guy in the company, and I would strike when the iron's hot. All that being said, the Danielson moment's an all-timer for me, and it's hard for me to erase that and say that shouldn't have happened. But I would have had Ospreay win the world championship at Wembley. I never bought that it was too soon. I never bought the crowd bought him as the top guy, and they still kind of do, but it doesn't feel quite the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the company is so bad at striking when the iron is hot, and it just felt like a no-brainer. And I get it, in their mind it'll be a no-brainer later, and they're probably right, but it still won't be quite the same.
Yeah. It was a moment. It's hard to capture that again.
Yeah,
but
go ahead, Marcus.
It's like what they ended up doing wasn't a thing where it's like this was the worst decision you could have possibly made. No, it's far from that. It's just I don't know. It just felt weird because you had to juggle multiple things all at once. Because they did such a good job of building Swerve up to be that world champion, to be a believable champ, and he was red hot going to that.
Yeah.
But damn, Ospreay was just a fucking supernova at the time. So
yeah,
I never once really bought the "it's too soon" thing. It's too soon. No, it is what it is. Ospreay getting the belt at All In would have been perfectly fine by me. But at the end of the day, the Brian moment was what it was, even though I didn't personally love what they did with him going into All In with the whole I don't know if I really deserve to be here type of stuff. Plus the Hangman thing on top of it kind of put a dent in some of it for me. But Ospreay probably in hindsight should have got it. But again,
it's interesting to look back because it was two good decisions, really. You're up against two good things looking back. The Swerve win was worth it. The Ospreay win would have been, just as worth it.
Yeah.
Same two things there, It's tough to... It's kind of just personal preference at that point.
Yeah,
I would say Ospreay too, though, to be honest. After... I do recall the conversation, that, a little bit of a talk on that show going into All In about the Ospreay business.
Yeah, I think I lost my mind if I remember right.
A little, just a little bit, just a little bit.
We're watching.
Yeah, that show went about 30 minutes over 3 hours. So
yeah,
we
obviously we have hindsight to talk about these things, and I think the thing that's pushed me more towards leaning to Ospreay. I love the Danielson moment. It's one of my favorite moments in all of wrestling because of my love for Danielson. But the fact that he lost to Moxley, and that's done basically nothing for the company at this point. And it's probably going to lead to putting over Darby. I don't necessarily think Darby was the person you should have put over with all of this, though.
Well. We'll get to that a little later. That adds to the
hindsight of why did you not? I think you could have put over an Ospreay or even Hangman. Hangman should have been the one to beat Danielson at World's End.
Yeah, we can.
Not World's End, at Wrestle Dream.
That discussion is definitely one we'll think about later when we get to the main event. Oracle, I want to know if you have anything you want to say about this.
Yeah, I was definitely on board with the Crown Will when you can, and over the summer, and they didn't, and I definitely think the Max and now the the Fletcher feud have kind of. He's kind of shifted down some since since that Forbidden Door show, right? That was the peak, and then it just kind of went down for him from there. He's not. I mean, I said it killed him, but I mean that's being histrionic. It hurt him though, and he's gonna get his time or whatever. But it wasn't too soon. They definitely could have crowned him, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not gonna complain about the Danielson moment either. Like that was awesome. I tend to agree. The more of the follow up of the Danielson title reign was not good in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have followed up on the Death Rider angle a lot better, which we'll talk about. And I actually think that stuff's kind of the shits. But and I'll explain it when we get to the main event. But,
warning signs, folks. Warning signs.
Lock in.
But, I don't know. Will be fine, but they definitely missed the moment this summer. I really do think they did.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a tough situation because, Swerve and Will were kind of they're really there in a lot of ways. It felt like they were there, Austin Rock or Brett Shawn or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
especially over the summer. So it was, a decision that they had to make.
Yeah. There's a lot to look back on. It's definitely a hindsight question, but very much appreciate the question. I think it was a lot of good talk about there. But, there's someone that Will Ospreay wrestled over the summer who looks to be opening this card as he usually does. MJF will be wrestling Roddy Strong. Let's get this out of the way. This could have potentially been a triple threat. There could have been another match here. Very alarming stuff. Marcus, hands on your head, brother.
Get this feud the fuck out of my face. With all seriousness, I love Roderick Strong. All of us here do. This match will be good because he'll will it to be good. And MJF, when he's not doing stupid shit and he's not in his own head, is a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, who could possibly give any type of a fuck about this feud? I promise you, AEW. I promise you, not a single soul that buys a ticket to your shows, watches your shows, talks about your shows, would have cared if you just never talked about this feud ever again. We would have moved past it and just begun anew. But no, they felt the need to, we got to see this thing through. No, fuck that! And on top of that, you tried to retcon it with kind of terrible logic with Adam Cole trying to I was the babyface all along. No, you weren't!
Mm-hmm.
You were gaslighting this man for months. We saw you. Do you know we can see you, Austin Jenkins? Why are you lying to us? And then MJF's not there, so it makes it all 100 times worse because he's the only person there that can talk when he's not doing stupid stuff. Again, that's the caveat with MJF. And then Adam Cole is just fucking terrible right now in the ring. It looks like he has jaundice every time he's out there. Like, why should I care? Why?
Yeah. Shoot, I know you're really into the black and gold lore.
Fuck off.
You try to shock the system?
Look, man, this match will be good. Roderick Strong's a machine built for grabs. MJF is a good professional wrestler when he wants to be. When he gets out of his own way. But there's so many issues here, as Marcus said. I love Roddy. We all love Roddy. How the fuck is Roddy a babyface now? And he's not because the crowd doesn't cheer him at all. And he's still fucking doing that name screaming shit because he thinks it's good. And somebody tell him to stop.
You already got a great talk as it is, bro. And I don't need you doing the screaming stuff. Roddy,
yeah, I want so badly to like MJF, and he just won't let it happen. He cannot. And look, some of the genuinely, I don't believe this feud. I don't even believe is his fault. Like, this is not his fault. To be clear, Max, if you're watching, this was not your fault.
It's not there for it to be his fault either. So I mean,
but it's just like we got to drop all this shit. Adam Cole, God love him, seems like he's one of the great guys in professional wrestling. when you grade on the curve of professional wrestling. But the dude is cooked. We don't have enough TV time to be letting this guy get back into form. Like, fucking go to Ring of Honor, and if you get good again, then you can come back. Like, go away. I don't know, man. This shit sucks, and it's going to go on for another 3-4 months, so whatever. But this match will be fine.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't want to be reminded of the worst period in company history from all last summer on. Like, I don't want to be reminded of that anymore.
It's a weird decision. Like, it's just, you feel all the feelings like when those two interact, you feel it all again. You're just, I don't know.
I just want to be clear. I'm saying Adam Cole needs to work ROH, not Max. Max is a friend of the program, and I would never send him to Ring of Honor.
Say that. Come on here, start shooting guns and shit. He'll do his thing. Kaden.
Novi, I received an envelope in the mail the other day, and it was from Joe Holbert. And
is that Ryson in it?
It actually has his message that he wanted me to read out. I did not hear what Marcus said.
Hey man, I'm just trying to protect you. Just check it for Ryson. Check it for Anthrax, bro.
It was very specifically. It did say to read out on the air since he knew he was going to be missing this show. Mm-hmm. So he this is what he wants me to read. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, hot off the set. I can't do an accent.
You tried. I'll give you that.
You got to just try. Just try. You have to.
Sound it out. You got to do your thing, bro.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman, hot off the set of the highly anticipated Abigail Morto, starring Adam Sandler, releasing on Netflix in 2025, will battle Roderick Strong in what I am sure will be one of the best professional wrestling matches of the year.
Brother, that was not Holbert. That was Charlie drunk off 3 mimosas on the show.
Charlie at the Independence.
You tried your best though. It was British enough. We'll take it. What's the difference?
Yeah, close.
British, they're all the fucking same.
So that's all you got for us? That's all your analysis?
Yeah. This feud fucking sucks. Roderick Strong is one of the greatest professional wrestlers on the planet. He will, if we ever get to my bracket of wrestlers, he will be in my top 10. I want to guarantee that now. He rules. I love him so much. He will MJF to like a 4-star match.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Oracle, you got beat out for the cast of Happy Gilmore 2, but maybe you'll enjoy this one. I don't know. How you feeling about this match?
So this is one of those matches where, I intend to join the Grin Along live tomorrow. Might be a little late, but, we'll see. It's going to be one of those matches where we watch and we go, hey, you know what? That was pretty good, wasn't it? And then we'll never talk about it ever again. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, that's all you need, honestly. There will be some memorable stuff, I think. It's going to be a good match. Roddy's going to will him to it. We've all said it. The story is the story, but at least we'll have fun watching it, at the very
Just remember, MJF is always 3 steps ahead of him, like Kyle Riley said. No, the fuck he's not! Did you not see last summer, Kyle? Did you not watch any of the TV last summer?
Yeah, he is. He's not 3 steps ahead. He needs to take 3 steps down. No more jumping for him, unfortunately. But there will be some jumping in a 4-way tag match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
Will there be
Private
jumping?
Party. There'll be some jumping because Private Party's in there. The Acclaimed, Outrunners, and Kings of the Black Throne. That will be Brody King and Malachi Black. NXT Black and Gold. Once again, this could be quite a good time. I'm interested to see how Kings of the Black Throne. There's my make or break for this match because Malachi, when he's in there in tags, he's a lot better. Brody is obviously going to be a force. There's some question marks about some other teams here. Definitely so. But I'm hopeful. I'm curious. Shoot. Are you hopeful?
I don't care about this at all. I like Private Party. I hope they're going to retain the titles. The Acclaimed in 2024, who could possibly care? Free Bowens. The Outrunners.
Christ.
Look, the act's fun. That's the ceiling of it. The act's fun. FTR is going to turn on them soon, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, whatever. Tag division sucks, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Marcus, tag division suck.
God bless Private Party and God bless Brody King in this match, and that's all I'll say. Because if they're good, it'll be fine. They're the glue. If Brody King just goes out there and be a monster that he usually is, I'll be okay. Private Party, if they don't win, will be an absolute travesty, which they're going to win. Like, it'd be absolute terrorism if they didn't. The Outrunners, I'm begging you. I want to like this act. As much as I don't like them as wrestlers, that's over. Cool, whatever. Please be good wrestlers. I'm begging you. And the Acclaimed, I'm just not going to talk about them at all. Fuck Max Cassidy.
Wow.
You want to see something here for sure from them. Okay, and you're going to say
something. That's all I ask.
There you go. Kaden, you're saying Outrunners?
I don't know. They're not particularly good. Max Caster's not particularly good. Malachi Black is good in tag matches. Brody King is fucking awesome. He's one of my favorite wrestlers in the company. Yeah, this will be fine. I actually think this is gonna be like quite fun, and we're gonna like look back and be like, "Oh, that was a pretty good time."
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's gonna like scream at Dave's star ratings, but it'll be good to like have in there in between like all of the 80 singles matches we have on this show as like a nice little fun break.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point to. There's 8 singles matches on this card, so like having one of these, fun, crazy matches, it could add a little bit of flavor to it, a little bit of enjoyment. Will it add that for you, Oracle?
I don't know. Brody King's good, and then that's about all I have to say.
Across the board, Brody King good.
Party, actually, but
basically,
I mean, this match is like totally uninteresting to me. Like, this is the match where I'm going to be, trying to get my Hooters or something.
I will say, I think Bones is quite good.
This is the match when I'll order from the Paisanos that Ric Flair got kicked out of.
Nice.
I'll be cooking ribs. That's all I'll be doing during this match.
I might get some Wingstop. That's what I usually do on pay-per-view days. Get that 20-piece meal deal. Go ham.
There you go.
It takes like 97 minutes to get.
What the wings be like? Would they be getting lemon pepper? What you be getting?
All right, I got you an order.
It's a good
I got
question.
5 hot honey, 5 lemon pepper, 5 Parmesan garlic.
There we
and
go.
then Then that last one, it can switch up sometimes. I
Wild
do
card
enjoy the
slot.
barbecue. I do enjoy that sometimes. Sometimes I'm craving some Asian zing. I can get down with that too. It varies from time to time. Usually I'll stick with the barbecue though. I do enjoy that. And the new one especially.
Bone or boneless?
I'm a boneless guy. I can't do bones.
That's all right. I'm with you.
Good.
I'll take it. I'll give you on the boom or doom scale. I'll give you a good 3.5 booms.
3.5. Is that out of 5?
Out of 5.
That's solid. That's not too bad.
That's a good match.
Yeah, it's like,
You did your thing.
quality thing out there. There should be.
Work hard.
Yeah, you put some effort in there. Got some
Good
little
finish.
variety. Good finish. There you go. There's a match that I'm pointing to on
Oracle.
this card.
Sorry, no. Oracle, what's your go-to wing sauce?
So I typically do pretty much classic buffalo, like medium usually, roughly. Which is like, but like if I were to do anything special, it'd probably be like I don't know, anything like a honey chipotle or like a special, maybe like a hot barbecue. I do like Asian zing. That stuff's pretty good. So
That's a quality little lineup. Shoot, you asked the question, so you have to give your answer.
So, my go-to wing place, it's called Roosters. I don't think it's where any of you guys live.
Surprisingly, I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, they got a Carolina Gold barbecue sauce.
oh brother,
Yeah, that's
Carolina
my go-to.
I know Novi knows about Carolina barbecue. It's just good.
Oh yeah.
I go with that, and then I go with the medium buffalo. I can do a hot buffalo, but I got to be in the mood for it. And I do the boneless too, but they're boneless are hit or miss for me. Like some places, boneless wings suck, and I'll get the regular wings.
They're too rubbery, right? Yeah.
Right, but
Too
this
rubbery.
place,
Yeah.
this place, the boneless wings are on point. So, I'm getting older. I don't want to make a mess. Like, it's just easier.
Right,
The
sure.
teeth are wearing down a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not
Good
wrong.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the
Like,
Wingstop that I go to, bro. They got new people in there, new management. They step their game up. They're good every time.
Oh, that's
So
great.
that's why you get boneless there.
I got banned from Wingstop once. That's neither here nor there.
You get banned from the Wingstop.
It's a long story.
Oh, we got a long time. I'm
It's
curious.
We got time.
okay, Marcus. Tell me if I'm wrong. Before you, is this going to be a situation where it sounds even cooler if you don't tell us why? Is it going to lose some of the mystique if you explain it?
Bro, depending on who you ask, probably. But like, it's a really funny, stupid story. But
We'll leave the
specialize in
mystique.
I specialize in funny and stupid. I'll tell you off camera.
Save that one for the post show.
We'll book you for a gold show so you can tell the story. People got to pay for it.
You know what? That's an even better idea. That's an even better idea. Give me by the paywall, brother.
Hey, if you want to hear why Marcus got banned from Wingstop, you gotta join LNG Gold. You gotta hop on Relight the Fuse. He's gonna be there next time around. We're gonna have a date soon.
Just like I withheld my grandma's nunchuck story on Hank Conda, one of the greatest episodes of Wrestle Pierce history. Shout out my boys Zebu, Rob, Ayo, Kris.
Shout out.
All of them. I'm gonna withhold the Wingstop story for the paywall because it's only right.
There we go. We can market this now.
Build a show around it.
Exactly.
Relight the Fuse Full Gear. Why Marcus got banned from Wingstop?
Just Photoshop me in the head of someone getting dragged down a building somewhere.
That's funny as fuck. There's some good ideas going around here. Good ideas. Let's see.
Brainstorming.
There. I was alluding to it a little bit. There's a match on this show that I think we can all be a little more excited for than some of these other ones. I'm looking forward to it. It's interesting. It could go either way. Hangman Adam Page is facing Jay White on this show. There are some questions about the build. There's some problems to be raised. There's some little holes you can poke in it. But of their two matches, I thought they're both very good. I thought their last one was worked very smart. I love the selling of Hangman's knee. They've continued that. I think we could see it going into this match. I kind of would have liked to see a stip, though. I'm interested to see how you guys feel. Oracle, what's your thoughts going into this?
So I did like the first two matches a good bit. The whole TV, build as a whole for all these programs hasn't been, necessarily, as we've talked about, the cold fronts have come in and whatnot. But their last match was very, very good. I do think this is going to be a match that will be very good. I don't know. Is there going to be some? I feel like we've talked about this before. Is there going to be interference or something possibly? I don't know. But as far as match quality goes, I think it will be pretty darn good.
Yeah. They're two smarter wrestlers, I think. And Kaden talked about it earlier, about the four-way on the pre-show being a C2 kind of preview. I think this could be one, too. These are two guys that we could see in the C2. I think it's very likely we see them. Kaden, I'm curious to hear what you think about this.
I'm just looking at good old cage match because I wanted to confirm a few things. One was that there is not a single stipulation match on the show. I guess a four-way match is like technically a stipulation because it's no DQ, but there's not, which is weird. AEW always throws something that's stipulated on this. And the other thing, Novi, I heard you and Marcus on the pre-show. You guys were talking about the Hangman Jay White thing and what the stip could have been. And you, Novi, I know you've been on this for a while, that it should have been a 2 out of 3 falls. I don't necessarily fully agree with that because they just did the hologram and Beast Mortos one. And I know you said you weren't as in favor of him doing a Texas death because you didn't want him being associated with the Texas death as much as he is. Right? You said that?
I said it was mostly like that, and it was also kind of like, I don't know if this necessarily justifies it, like this whole build.
So here's the thing. I think this feud should have justified it. And I said this whenever Wrestle Dream came around, that this match should have been a Texas Death. I don't necessarily know if like the last like 4 weeks have gotten to that point, but this still should have been a Texas Death Match for a bunch of reasons. One is Hangman has not had a Texas Death Match since Full Gear last year. And I think like having the story of him a year later getting the win in the Texas Death and showing the evolution of his character after he's been losing, like he won at All Out, but like he had been losing so much before that. And for this to be the turning point where he now got the win back in his first Texas Death since, which was a year, almost a year to the day, I think that would have been like really good storytelling. Also, that this is their third match since July. They needed to have a stip on this. Like, I do not know why it's a normal singles match. That makes absolutely no sense to me. After like most of what they've done, this should have been way more brutal in the last 2 to 3 weeks as well. I do not know why they just calmed down and basically did nothing. There was nothing on Dynamite on Wednesday. Like, this could have been so good leading up, and they dropped the ball there. This should have been a Texas Death. They dropped the ball there. This will be a good match. They're very good wrestlers. I know there was discourse about Jay White, and I am on a different side than Novi and Marcus are on this one because I love Jay White. I will concede that I see y'all's points, but these are two very good wrestlers. They will have a good match, but God, we should have had a stip on this.
It's one of those things. We've said it a lot on this show, the stories going in kind of thing. I think this is one of those where I would have liked to see it elevated a little bit more to earn the Texas Death, like you said. Marcus, you're scratching your chin. What's going on in there?
See, there's a part of me where a Texas Death here works, even with all the stuff that happened before, because Heyman's at a point where he's completely and utterly lost his mind, and the Texas Death has only been something he's done only when it's called for it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, he just wants to fucking murder somebody, and murdering Jay White is kind of something to be justified for, especially in his mind for all the shit they've been through for the last, like, God knows how many years. But this definitely should have had a stip, because let's face it, I ain't trying to watch a singles Jay White match like that. I'm just not. Now, granted, Hangman has given him his best singles matches in the entire company since he's been here. Like, I don't even think it's that close. But this should have had a stip in some way. For some reason, I thought it was going to be a submission match for some reason, because they kept saying, I'll make you tap out, and they kept selling the knee. And that's usually something where a wrestler like Jay White would just go after it constantly and try to just give him the tap or give up. But whatever, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. After that, we'll see. I don't know.
They're going to have at least one more match in the C2.
Yeah, I think so, but it's hard to see, like, it would have added so much more excitement. We've seen this match twice already. Obviously, you know, and then they run it back in the C2. It's the same one. It's hard to build more excitement there. It's a very interesting build. Shoot, you were scratching your chin as well when the idea of a step brought in. You're shaking your head now.
This is a mess. I like both these guys. A bunch of stuff has changed. Like, I don't know what's going. Part of me thinks the fact that like they've done nothing is like that something's going on, but I don't know. Like, at one point, Hangman was going to have backup, and the whole group was going to be involved, and then none of that happened. And like, I think
Austin Gunn got injured. I think
I was just about to say I don't think the Guns have been around. And like,
no,
this is reduced.
This is an example, and I mean, I have a lot of issues with Tony. But one that I think is very clear is that when his plan falls apart, he has no backup plan. And I think this is what we're seeing here with this feud is like what they had planned didn't end up happening. And so now he's got nothing. Yeah, this match will be good. But the build sucks. Hangman got to win, I think. And yeah. On to the next one.
Yeah, it's hard. Nara brings it up in the chat. I want to point to it. Not been a positive preview. I think that kind of clarifies. It points to some issues with some of these matches. Kind of we're going on the same trend here a little bit.
AEW
kind of. It's like you know the show itself will be good, but it's like the more you dig into how you get to some of these matches, it's like
yeah. There's a flaw there. The stories going in just they don't feel like as big as they should in a lot of cases. This one's probably the like biggest thing about it.
Look, AEW has this thing where they have god awful television, And then they have a pay-per-view, and it's so fucking good. And you see all the tweets where it's like, I told you it was going to be good. It's always good. Why do you doubt them? We're so back. The feeling's restored. I'm fucking sick of it. I don't care. The pay-per-views are always going to be so good because they're good wrestlers who can overcome bad booking whenever they're just given time to have wrestling matches. We cannot keep I'm so tired of this whole, it's every single pay-per-view cycle. And this is I've been feeling it as we're going through the show. As we go match by match, I'm really damn, I kind of don't care.
They don't give you too many reasons to care about the builds and about the matches. I'm sitting here, I'm looking forward to it because I think all the matches will be good. The pay-per-views, like you said, are always good. But when you sit down for that kind of thing, you poke holes in it, and there's a lot of holes to poke when it comes to these matches. It's unfortunate. It's a little weird. There's a fella on this show though. If there's anyone else who wants to say anything, you jump in. I'm curious. If there's we just move on. Because there's another fella on this show who's defied that a little bit. Daniel Garcia will be challenging Jack Perry for the TNT title. This has been a very interesting build. I think this one it's very different from anything we've covered because it hasn't necessarily been about brawls and about those kind of segments. It's more cinematic. They've done a lot of stuff with he rode on the front of his bus, Jack, and there's a little bit of interesting dialogue going on there in the barn. Jack seems to be a guy, and he's putting over in this feud. He seems to be a guy who's he just doesn't care about losing. He doesn't care about dying half the time. He's just whatever about it. And Daniel seems determined to get him to care. It's a very interesting feud. I've enjoyed it so far. I've had a lot of fun with it personally. Most people know I'm a huge Daniel guy. I've had my ups and downs with Jack, but I am pretty excited for this match. I'm curious, Shoot, are you looking forward to this one? Is it frozen?
No.
You just looking?
I'm gonna say.
There's a good sell there.
Jeez.
That was hard.
Jack Perry doesn't care. I don't care. I like Danny. He's going to win. I don't know what they're doing with Jack Perry right now. I just fucking kidnapping him and what the fuck, man?
He's getting hog-tied for 3 weeks straight.
The two fellas look like they're going to kiss a couple times.
They didn't do anything.
So, Danny's going to win, I think. Although the chat brings up a good point. Jack's just getting bitched out repeatedly. So,
Yeah.
But, man, if Danny loses this match, gotta help him, man. I don't know what they're doing with Jack.
I don't know what Jack's doing with Jack in some way.
Yeah, man. I don't know what this is.
It feels are they doing a bit because?
Yeah, I want to like it. I like him as a worker.
He got bitched out by CM Punk, on the video, and I'm not that anything really happened, but is this a rib? It feels like a rib.
It feels like Jack is
They've had
sitting in the
multiple
cup chair.
segments. They've had multiple segments where Danny Garcia, who's not a big guy, right, is literally manhandling him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a theory that I don't think is true, but part of me wondered if they're tearing Jack down and he's going to join the Death Riders. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not saying it's even a good idea, but his friends left, and all of a sudden he's a fucking loser again. And I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know what Mox thinks of him, because Mox doesn't like him. He ain't getting involved in Mox's shit. So,
That's why Mox
you say he was a good kid on TV, so there's that.
Yeah, there's a part of me that thinks that's where it's headed, but I'm probably totally wrong.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't think you're wrong at all, actually.
I think you can see it a little bit.
Who is Jack facing in the dome?
Suji.
Yeah. I guess that would make sense if you put him with the Death Riders.
Yeah.
Shota's
booked up a little bit, so that would more work there. I don't know. It's interesting. Jack's direction it's weird. But I'm just excited. Honestly, at the end of the day, Danny holding up the belt, that might just be enough for me. Marcus, is it enough for you?
See, I'm on two schools of thought. One, Danny's winning, and I want him to win. He needs to win, and he will win. The other one is that yesterday on the Dynamite review, dear old Montel Vontavious Bedford said if Jack Perry were to retain, he would boycott doing the Dynamite review. So I kind of want to hold him to his word here. I don't know. I'm just saying. I just want to see it in action. I just want to see what happens if that ever were to take place. But Garcia's winning. I don't think there's really any debate here. He should.
Mm-hmm.
Either outcome is funny for you. Either outcome works.
I think that's fucking hilarious for me. I'm either overjoyed or overjoyed.
Yeah, that's positive.
That's
We're good.
good raps right there, honestly. That's
Fuck
what
yeah.
it's all about.
It's like when
Max
you
said,
when,
It's Always Sunny. I play both sides, and this is how I win.
yeah.
Bees.
It's like when you bet on your favorite team to lose, and if they
Yeah.
win, you're just like, well, my favorite team won.
Like I did last week with the Jaguars. I'm gonna bank off that game.
Yeah. Oracle, you mentioned a couple things about Jack here. Curious about his character, but about the match.
I mean, Danny should win. I mean, I'm not particularly interested in the match. I like Danny, but I mean, Jack fucking sucks. So like, he's fine as a babyface mid card guy, but like, I mean, this act has just been atrocious from beginning to end.
He can do flips against what he need to do.
I think he's like one of the most unwatchable guys in wrestling right now. He's so bad. Him and Jon Moxley. But
There's another thing that rhymes with Moxley, if you want to say it.
he's just terrible. Like Danny's got to win this thing.
Yeah. That's where Danny's got to do it. Kaden, Danny's got to do it, brother.
I said about what would have been. It was right around when the Death Rider stuff started. And I looked at AEW and I was like, well, they have World's End coming up. And if you really want to make like World's End, like if you want to like make it this like big pay-per-view to end the year, and what World's End really should be, which is like you have a story going into it and you kind of like you finish the story of the year, is you have Evil take over AEW. And you have the Elite that are holding a set of belts hostages. You have the Death Riders holding another set of belts hostages. And then you have the people who align with each, and everybody aligns. And well, that never fucking happened. And the reason I'm saying this is because whenever I thought about that story, I was like, well, you can have Jack Perry win at Full Gear, and then Daniel Garcia gets the win back in some sort of stip match. And again, AEW didn't do what they probably should have done. And so, yeah, I think Daniel Garcia is winning.
Yeah. We're all just excited to see Danny win, I think.
I don't care anymore.
He needs it. He needs to, there's got to be a payoff to what he's been going on for a while now. Like ever since I even say the C2 of last year, there's got to be a payoff at some point to that. And at least we're getting it, It could be worse. He could not get it at all. But I mean, you never know. Jack could win.
He also could be out the company altogether.
You should have beat Christian.
I'm so convinced that should happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Death Riders are the trios champs.
Yeah. They're holding those belts at the moment.
They're not actually holding the belts, but they're the champions.
Yeah. We haven't seen them in a while. They've been away.
I think they were wearing the belts for a while, and then I think someone realized, hey, Mox is refusing to wear the world title. Why do we have these guys wearing these titles? And then they quit wearing them.
Yeah.
They treat like the G1 where people don't come up with the belt for some reason.
Yeah. Which is, ain't the G1, brother. It's just Dynamite. It's okay.
Exactly.
We can just bring it out. There's a champion on this show who will be defending his belt. A couple of them, actually. But this one is Konosuke Takeshita, who'll be facing Ricochet for the international title. I've had some takes on Ricochet a couple times over. Caden jumped me with Khalid of the Grabs podcast.
Jumped you yesterday.
You almost got me.
You gotta no. He lied to you.
I didn't lie. I didn't.
On that preview
What?
show.
I don't know, Novi. I feel a little
bro.
here.
They came at me at this on the DMs, right?
I'm finding the texts.
And now Caden thinks I said things that I didn't say. And
I'm
also,
looking.
I've clarified a few things how I feel. I've told you straight up how I felt about
Listen, but
Ricochet.
Until then, I gotta see the Novi files.
I'm looking. I got him. We were talking. So for reference, we were talking about the Continental Classic scheduling because I looked at the schedule and I realized basically like the finals will likely be at Wrestle Dynasty. And as we're doing that, where is it, Novi? There's so many texts we had.
I could tell you what I
No
said.
time.
I'll be honest. I said I didn't want to see the Ricochet match versus Zack Sabre at
Yeah.
Wrestle Dynasty.
You said I just really don't want to see Zack Sabre Jr. face him, and you go, I mean, yeah, but I just don't think all that highly of Ricochet. Need him to grab the ball against Takeshita, and then we will reevaluate. Which is, and you say 2017 was 7 years ago, brother.
I gotta see something. I gotta see something big.
I think he's a good wrestler, but a lot of people think he's great, and that's where I draw the line. He has done shit. I liked his match with Will and the one with Mortos a lot. I just don't have him on the same tier as everyone else is all.
And I don't. You know? What do you want me to say, bro?
They may say he hit a couple threes, I can see him hit a couple more like he Josh Smith. That's crazy.
Hey, look, bro. I said it in the text. I think Ricochet is a good wrestler. It's not for me sometimes. He annoys me sometimes. So I don't think he's a great wrestler. But this is a match I desperately want him to grab the ball. There was a tweet he made earlier this week. I don't specifically remember the wording, but it was something along those lines of that he's going to take it, that he wants to be the guy of AEW. And it was Ibu who quote retweeted and told him, then you take it, brother. Take that fucking ball. I want to see him have a great match with Takeshita here because I've liked some of the matches. I like the trios match quite a bit. People, you ate me up for that in the DMs, but I told you I like that one too, by the way. But I want to see Ricochet in a straight up singles match. Show me that real shit. You're facing a guy like Konosuke Takeshita. That's someone who you have to have a good match with, or there's something wrong with you. Because we saw it, bro. Adam Cole had a match with Takeshita. That was we knew it how he felt about Cole. But that was the match. If Takeshita can't get anything out of him, that was the sure sign that he's cooked. And he couldn't. It's an Adam Cole problem. I enjoy Ricochet quite a bit, like I said. I don't want to see the match versus Zack Sabre. I wanted to see someone else. I don't care about logistics. I just want to see someone else. I get it. I'm fine with it. It makes total sense. Ricochet's a, big draw over there in Japan. I'm fine with it. It's okay. I think it'll be a good match. It's just my personal enjoyment. That's all.
All I know is Paynes was dropping in that power struggle crowd when he came up and hit him with that springboard. That's all the evidence I needed.
And,
and also, I'm not going to compare him to Adam Cole because Adam Cole can't fucking walk. Adam Cole looks like jaundice out there.
It's not necessarily comparing him to Adam Cole, who's very orange. It's more so comparing him to he's got to have a good match with Takeshita here. He's got to have it for me. As a singles,
I have no doubt he won't.
I have high faith. You don't doubt it. So how you feeling going into this, Marcus?
I'm locked in. The catch is on pay-per-view. It's impossible to have a bad match with him if you don't suck. And Ricochet far from sucks. My only thing with Ricochet is that those first couple of weeks in AEW, you try to have professional wrestling matches when it's my nigga, flip.
He was doing SmackDown matches a little bit.
Yeah, he was kind of trying to be a professional there. But then the pay-per-view match happened and the Ospreay match happened, and I was like, okay, we got something. He's wearing trunks now. He dropped the gloves. Game changer there.
Only
caveat, I love Yu Yu Hakusho. I love Yusuke. The Spirit Gun is a terrible finisher. It's not good.
It's a bad
finisher. And it's too close to the end blade too. Which, by the way, that leads me to the point. Ospreay, you the big homie now. You neighborhood hero. Tell him stop doing it. Please.
Stand your ground, bro. Yep. Protect it in one way at least, please.
But no, this is gonna be great. Him taking the Razor Fire in the Wagamama is gonna be epic. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Takeshita retains. I'm gonna go home happy.
Yeah, I think I've high hopes for this personally. Shoot, you're scratching your chin during some discussion there. I'm curious. What are you thinking?
I'm very excited about this match. I like both these guys. I think Ricochet's been very good since coming to AEW. I don't fully disagree with your take either. I mean, I don't put him on the level of the top tier, but I do think that he's been very, very good. I am excited for the Zack Sabre Jr. match. More so because I can't really tell you what other match I would be more excited for. Um, so yeah, I mean, look, Takeshita's that's my dude. I went to get this. I can show this off. This came in the mail today, finally.
Oh,
Oh, that's hard.
shit.
Let's go.
Oh man, I'm gonna
That's gorgeous.
look at that. Look at that package.
Oh,
Come on now.
shit.
Big
Look at
alpha. Big alpha.
That looks
Like,
gorgeous.
I don't buy figures that much, and this was a must buy. This has been my guy since he debuted on Dark back at Daly's place. I didn't even know who he was at the time.
I went to the House of Always Wins too, and I saw him there. I was like, damn, what the hell is this?
Yeah. This is, I mean, yeah. So this match, I'm very much looking forward to this. It was interesting because I didn't know if it was even on the show.
It
there
got
for a
added
minute.
late.
Yeah. Like, they did a video package for it tonight on Rampage. Like, had they announced it before that? I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they announced
Twitter.
it while we were on
Okay.
the air last night for the Clash Champions.
Oh, okay. I missed that. So yeah. Anyway, this match will be awesome. It's a good spot for Ricochet. Like I said, I think Ricochet's been good, but he does need to be nice to see him have like a really like a signature performance.
Mhm.
C2 brother.
Yeah, I think
C2.
he's
He's one to circle for that tournament. Like,
yeah.
to have really good, like, consistently good matches.
Yeah, I'm excited for the C2. Not to go. There's a wrestler that's supposed to be on Dynamite this week that makes me wonder if he's in the C2, which is Mystico. But there's some logistical issues there that I don't know. But
That would be so fascinating to see him in a tournament like that. 'Cause,
part
like,
of me
you know
thinks
damn
he's going to
well-
be in it, but I could be totally wrong.
Yeah,
If he is, I would be stunned.
too much.
Yeah.
I think there's too
Probably, yeah. He's losing over.
Too much politics, and plus they want him in a Arena Mexico bad because he is like the draw in that building
Yeah.
every Friday.
But yeah, anyway, this will be awesome. Takeshita's going to win. But Ricochet will push him to the limit, of course. I'm
One
really
thing I
interested-
will say about Takeshita and Kyle, honestly, the Kyle's family in general, it's been far better since they added Cage and Archer, and it just looked
Yes.
like a bunch of big menaces.
been good.
And the biggest caveat, Don Callis shut the fuck up for a month straight.
Let other people talk, kind of thing.
He hasn't even been around. That's the
Yeah.
other part.
I think they finally realized like how you got to do the Callis family, which is just like don't have Callis do as much as he was.
Yeah, It's so fascinating with Don because he is such a giant heat man because he gets giant heat reactions every time he's out in front of an arena. But the problem is when you have this big group of guys who really, really need that to transfer, the heat mostly just goes to him and just stays to him. It's like trickle-down economics. It goes to him and never really transfers. And then you get into feuds like you did the Kenny Omega stuff last year. It was more Kenny versus Don, and then Takeshita felt more like a stand-in and a wrestling conduit to Callis instead of Takeshita just being his own guy. And now with Don pretty much out the picture, it's still his group, but like the wrestlers are taking over the reins for the most part. You could actually have real wrestling feuds and not have Callis. He can do his thing, sure, but he's not the central focus.
Yeah, that was always the one criticism. Like with Takeshita standing like behind him a little bit, he would always talk the most. You want Takeshita to say something. You want him to be the centerpiece. He's finally not been that, like you said. Brian Cage and Lance Archer, very good team.
Yeah, what an
Very fun
inspired
team.
choice, man. That's
Yeah.
And how beast is Takeshita's going to turn babyface down the road, and God, that's going to be fucking awesome.
Hey man, they should turn to the Monster Army when they kick Callis down to the curb. They just call it the Monster Army from now on.
I would like them to stay together. I kind of like the group quite a bit. Like
I love the group.
Yeah,
they
Mortos
suit each other really well.
I actually really like the dynamic of like the little feud that they've been doing with the four baby faces and the Callis family.
Mhm.
They should explore that some more.
Either they
and
should
they
keep
did-
the All-Star team, like the
Yes.
Ospreay team,
Yeah.
around.
Yep.
I think so too.
I would
It
too.
was such a smart choice to have Hobbs come back as a babyface and be involved in that.
Yeah.
It was perfect because I see so much potential in Hobbs. Like I know we haven't like seen it necessarily so much in the ring, but it's stars written all over that guy. Like it's just is like it's there and there's been some glimpses. He's one of those guys that I'm really hoping we see in the C2 because I think that's one of those times he could shine. Like he could really make something of that tournament.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's The Don Callis family being good again is very interesting. It's weird to say out loud a little bit.
Again?
It's the
Honestly.
first time, really, because
The first time is what I mean. The first time is what I mean.
Because he shut up. You have a number 1 and number 2 guy in the stable with Takeshita and Fletcher. You can flip flop depending on when you want to heat them up at a certain time.
Mhm.
Then you have the tag team with Cage and Archer, just big menaces. There you go. That's a stable.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would Cage and Archer. I would start building to. They should be Private Party down the road.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was really big on like a big man team beating them. I was really big on Toa Leona and Bishop Khan being the ones to
I
do
like
it.
them.
Gates of Agony, but they're not really featured, so it's not like you can't really see it. But these guys are in prominent roles, you know. I can
They'll
envision
be-
that.
I think you'll get to see them more when the Ring of Honor TV show happens.
Yeah, I
It's
hope so.
not even a knock. I'm being genuinely because I like them too.
Cage is still a Ring of Honor champion right now too, which is
Mhm.
great.
Still so funny. He's
Yeah.
always champion.
They don't talk about it. He's the TV
He beat
champion.
Lance, he
now.
beat Lance fucking Jr. on a 0 hour in the last pay with that belt too.
Mhm.
So it's like everyone saw it, or a good chunk of people saw it.
That's
Yeah.
going to be such a fascinating transition when they move to TV. I mean, we can't really get into that now, but it's going to be a fascinating.
Here's the most important thing about this Takeshita match, okay?
Okay.
And
Lay
I'm
it
being
on us.
serious. I'm not trolling here. This is Will and Kyle needs to be a blood feud because that's what the feud has it needs to be a brawl and violent because that's what the feud is asked for.
Yeah.
But if they have their fucking match that they normally do, and then this match has this match, which we think they're going to have, right? Regardless of my opinion on it, I think it's a mistake. So I think it's important this match, but I think this match will be hurt. Maybe I'm wrong because
No, I see
But-
where you're going with that. You want some distinction
they
between
need
the two.
if they work the same match, I think it's going to be a problem.
You have
I
a good
thought- I
point,
thought-
yeah. 'Cause-
Yeah,
I
It's a
see
great
your
point.
I see.
and
that.
this feud is built more on like,
Correct, and they can
Ricochet-
have that match, right?
yeah, like these two don't need to have the violence because
Yeah,
this feud
yeah.
is about Ricochet wanting to prove he's better
Yeah,
than Takeshita.
Yeah,
So
and they
it's
can
not
have
a blood
their
feud.
stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
that's fine. It might not be my thing, but that's fine. But I am a little bit concerned about trusting in Will and Kyle to have the match that feud's asked for.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that. I actually think there's a lot of fans that are like me who are kind of like it will affect. It might not affect others as much, right? But like, it's going to be. It's important that they wrestle different matches.
Yeah.
That's
No, I agree. Like it
It's-
won't
it's a
it won't
great point.
impact me, but you're right.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Kaden. I'm sorry.
Using like a Will Ospreay match as an example of this, Ospreay and Fletcher should be more of the style of the first Ospreay Omega match, and Takeshita and Ricochet should be more of the style of the second Ospreay Omega match.
It's a good little shout.
Fine.
Yeah, I like that comparison.
Yeah, 'cause that first one was just straight up brutal.
God,
The
it
first one was
awesome.
That's what it should be. Like I think Will probably like beat the fuck out of him for most of that match.
That would be a
Just-
cool way
just
to go
big
about
bro,
it.
man.
It
Yeah,
should be like
just
reverse.
do
situation.
that match on here. Like just have him kill him. Just like you are not better than me, and so you could tell that
Yeah.
story later down the line of maybe one day he gets to a point where he's on the same
100%.
level. I think that's a great way to put it. And also, to Oracle's point, I wanted to point out there's 8 singles matches on this card. Like we've gone over a couple of times. It's
There needs to be
really
variety.
important that there's variety, that there's
Mhm.
distinction between the two.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great point.
And there's different finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
Worried about
mentioned some like interference. Want to see maybe one. I
It's the
could,
dub. I'm worried about it.
Space them
Couple-
out, please.
yeah.
The only like interesting thing I can really note about this match, besides like the in-ring standpoint, that I think Oracle made a fantastic point with that I hadn't really thought of. I texted in our group chat, and I basically said, I wonder why they had Takeshita get the pinfall and that all-star tag. And it made me go, is there a chance that they put this title on Ricochet to have Takeshita beat... Wait, 1 second, Novi, before you start shaking your head. To have
Sorry, I was
Takeshita...
scared for a minute there, bro. Can't say that.
But I wonder if they want to put the title on Ricochet to have Takeshita beat Okada in the Continental Classic. And I don't think it's going to happen, mainly because they've already set up both of Takeshita's Wrestle Kingdom matches, or Wrestle Kingdom Wrestle Dynasty matches, so they'd have to change the stuff, presumably. But I'm very, I still don't understand the decision there of Takeshita getting the pin when like 4 other people in that match needed it going into their matches, and he was the one who really didn't need it if he was going to beat Ricochet.
It's
Probably
interesting
as
to
a
point
thank
out.
you because he got pinned in the last tag match they did, or one of the matches they did.
Mm-hmm.
So probably that's probably what it was.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that. And also, I think you kind of alluded to it too. I was very adamant that Takeshita should go on a run in the C2, face Okada, and do that match, have him be the Continental like Classic champion. But I think, like you said, those matches are booked. Ricochet's already booked, so I think I don't see it necessarily. I'm still firm on Takeshita, but I think it's a interesting point to raise. But yeah, that was it. That's an exciting one. I'm looking forward to that one a lot. I think if it's very distinct, it depends on where it's at in the card. But these two guys are just so like they're definitely one of those people that can get the crowd into it no matter where they're at. Like it's just the skill in the ring.
One of the only things on this show I have no negatives to say. They've done a very good job building that match.
Yeah, done it across promotion too, international belt. That's smart. Done it in Canada. A lot of smart stuff on this. Not so smart stuff though. We have to go back to it. There's 2 matches left, but there's one of them still here. Mercedes Moné will be defending her title against Kris Statlander. A lot of people know around here, I'm a gigantic Kris Statlander fan. And I know I don't necessarily love doing it. I kind of do it as a bit because it's a little funny. This is a match. It's not Legacy Game. I don't want to point to that. But it's one of those matches like you got to have a good match with Kris Statlander, It's like Ricochet. You got to have a good match with Takeshita. You got to have a good match with Statlander. She's probably one of the most consistent wrestlers in America overall, I think. Just the matches she put on with that TBS title reign with lesser opponents. She convinced AEW that Julia Hart was, champion worthy. That's how good of their match was, and it was solely because of her. This is one to circle. I want to see how good this is. Let's go shoot. What do you think?
Statlander should win clean. Look, man, I was so excited for Mercedes to come in. Her matches have been fine. Not great, but not bad by any means. Her segments have been some of the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. She's not over at all, which is stunning. I mean, I didn't see that coming at all. But, like, the AEW fan base does not give a fuck about her. And that's just the reality of it. I think she's going to win here. She shouldn't. Honestly, I'm not sure it's salvageable. Like, they're in a situation where they signed someone who should have been the centerpiece of their division. And I don't think that was even an outlandish take. I think pretty much anyone would have said that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. Joe and I sat here on this channel and said that she was going to move numbers. If, like, she was one of the people they could bring in. And none of that has happened. She's now in a position where they're having to book the division around her, like, avoid her. Like, it's just, it feels over, which is sad. And I would love for her to prove me wrong because I am a fan. But, I mean, honestly, most of the time her appearances on the show are kind of depressing. For me, as someone who was very high on her and very excited for her to come in. And then Camille sucks.
Fucking awful.
Yeah, she's terrible. I don't know. Like, maybe the Mercedes thing is salvageable. I don't think it is. I think the fault is on both promotion and her, to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think a big part of it is her. Yeah, it is what it is. I like Statlander a lot. I hope she wins. She's a terrible promo, but she's an awesome fucking wrestler. And
that's like half the division, to be fair.
Yeah.
Good point.
So I don't know. I think this match will be good. I don't know if it'll be great. I hope it is. I think Mercedes does still have that in her, but
we saw it not too long ago. That Momo match was very good. Was it against Momo, right?
Yeah,
it was on the like not strong but strong shows. Like that match was quite good. I mean, it's different. Japan Monet. I'm kind of on my last straw too, but I don't know, Marcus. This could be one. You think it could turn the tides if it's really good?
It almost has to, right? Like, I think this match will be good. How good depends on a lot of factors because Stat is on a form where I think she can have a really good match with damn near anyone. Except Camille, because Camille just fucking sucks, period. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But she's like the perfect type of wrestler for Mercedes to wrestle in a big match, because one thing about Mercedes is her selling and she bumps like a mad woman when she's in there with bigger wrestlers.
Yeah.
So if the match is mostly just Stat just throwing her around, then I'm up for it. And then just do the backstabber as the damn finisher. Thank God she stopped doing the fucking moneymaker, because that move is not good. It never has been. I hope to God this is a great match. I really do. Because the Sheeta match disappointed. It was kind of on both parties, honestly. Because Mercedes wasn't on form that night, and she just kind of cooked, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And then the All-In match, I'll never speak of ever again.
Yeah, that's both party situation too. Maybe. It's been a weird run. There's been some things you could point to as some hopeful business, but other things too. Kaden, what are you feeling, brother?
So I'm gonna be honest. I think Mercedes was not that good in the Stephanie Bakir match. I know a lot of people like that one. I just didn't think she looked good. I thought Stephanie looked incredible, and Mercedes looked like shit. She did look good in the Brit match. That's the one where I think she did look good in, and then she looked bad against Sheeta. She was fine against Emmy.
Well,
I don't remember the other matches she had. She's looked fine since the Sheeta match, but like nothing stands out.
Does anyone have good matches with Sheeta anymore?
Not particularly. We're kind of
Little cooked
on that one.
Crisis of confidence, everyone.
Mercedes should lose the belt. She's not going to, because she's going to beat Mayu at the Dome to win the IWGP Women's Belt and get that title back and do the belt thing. Tony Khan doesn't know how to use Mercedes Moné. He doesn't know how to handle her. He doesn't know how to write. He doesn't write for her. It's Papperman who writes for her. And I think the initial issue off the bat was, instead of saying, if you're going to sign here for the millions of dollars that she signed there for, that is unconfirmed, then you say, you're going to fit into our style and work our wrestling, work our stories, and fit into our television. Tony didn't do that, and he caved and got her own writer and made all of her own segments and made it WWE. And it doesn't fit into this. It doesn't fit into AEW. Every time I see her on TV, it feels like I'm watching a completely different product. I actually think like her segments, I think some of them in terms of quality are better than Jericho segments, but Jericho stuff like at least feels like it's AEW. Like I don't think it's good, but like it feels like it's something that exists in the world of AEW.
Well, that feels like bad
not.
AEW. Mercedes stuff feels like bad WWE.
Yes. It reminds me a lot of the Codyverse, but like significantly worse, because at least Codyverse felt like it would be in AEW. Like this is completely somewhere else, not even on this television program. It's bad. They need to get her like into AEW again. And I don't know, maybe the answer is to like stop having Papperman write for her, or get Papperman to change her style or whatever.
Let Will write for her. Fuck it. Who cares? Let Will write for her.
Will should be the one writing for her. It's hard. There are so many things here, but like it's one of those things where like Tony, you're paying her so much fucking money. You got to tell her like this is what you're doing. Like you cannot let this continue going, because you are not making the money is not remotely worth it. When people who are making a fraction of what she does is getting significantly larger reactions and selling more tickets.
Yeah.
Like I don't care like how good the Statlander match is. Things need to change after this, because it cannot continue the way it's going.
That's a good point. Oracle.
The TBS belt is in a weird spot, because all the stars are chasing that belt when they really shouldn't be. The two champions have the wrong belts.
Yep.
You'd like to see that flipped, honestly, when you think about it. It's weird.
Well,
Oracle.
I don't want Mercedes to be.
You just don't want to see. You want to see her doing other stuff too.
It's more like the world. She
hell.
should be a centerpiece, and she should have the world title, and the stars of the division should be competing for the world title, and not the secondary belt. That would probably help things a little bit, but like the segments are still just Fred Flintstone shit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what belt she'd have; it's kind of just bad no matter what. But maybe
it makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah,
I think both belts are just in hell.
Pretty much.
Novi, are we going to talk about that championship celebration?
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about the championship celebration. Well, we'll do that. We'll do that next. I want to hear what Oracle has to say about this one, though.
Okay, so for the last month, I've watched this comedy program that is aired on that is aired on AEW Dynamite. Yeah, that has involved hardcore title skits where Camille gets run over by a car and gets speared through a wall, 2 walls. I mean, it's just, you know, I'm to the point now where I'm getting. I was a huge Sasha Banks fan. I was very excited for this signing, but I'm getting tired of the 2.5 star matches. Getting tired of the 2.5 star performances and the disappointment.
It weighs on you after a minute.
There's a universe where she doesn't cook her damn
very good. I like the Willow match. I thought the Vakura match was good, but Mercedes was not good in it. The Britt Baker match had a good layout, but I mean, come on. I mean, that match was doomed from the start.
It's Britt fucking Baker. It was never gonna be good.
The match layout was good. Like the actual structure of the match was good, but I mean, you have to execute it, and they didn't because Britt Baker. The Shida match was all over the place. The Emmy match was okay, but like, it's just at this point, it's just like, I mean, I don't know, man. I have no confidence in this. I want this to be good. I really do. I hope it is. I mean, the segments are just horrible. I mean, they're just embarrassing. I mean, it's just like,
it's the Tom and Jerry hijinks.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oracle, we've got us another super chat for you to read.
Okay.
Beast.
All right. Does it feel like Mercedes work harder when she works Stardom talent, but for some reason she's not working in AEW?
I think it's structure.
It's very much structured.
Yeah.
She can do whatever, like, whenever she's working the Stardom girls, I don't like calling them girls, the Stardom talent. She's working that style, and I think she likes adapting to that. The issue is in AEW, she's not doing that because she has Papperman. And I think that's one of those, I genuinely think if you just said you cannot have Jen Papperman, she would be forced to adapt and she would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Feels
you gotta
like it could
take
be an
things
easy
away from
fix
her.
a little bit.
She's a wrestler that doesn't need training. If you put training wheels on her, it just makes things worse. Take them off completely.
Mhm.
She should have just gone back to the Fed, to be honest with you.
Probably.
Seems like she maybe should have went to Stardom, bro.
There is a universe where she doesn't destroy her damn ankle and she just freelances in Japan for like 2 years.
My God, the match, bro. Like, if we walked down that path, she eventually would have gotten to us a rematch, wouldn't she?
Yes, and I would have been up for it. I would have probably flew to Japan myself for that damn match. I ain't gonna lie.
You run that shit in Corkin, we might have to book some flights. Hold on for a minute.
Exactly.
I got
maybe the Budokan.
Novi, I got dangerously close to booking that flight to Tokyo last night. There is currently a deal on Zip Air, which is like the Spirit Airlines that would take you to Japan. Out of LAX round
Sounds
trip.
crazy.
Bro, I'm not flying Zip Air, bro.
That sounds insane.
But here's the reasoning. It is a round trip. It's LAX to Tokyo. I don't remember which Tokyo airport. There's two. But it's a round trip. $430.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna take a trip in the
And
water, bro.
But
Exactly. You fly in the Pacific.
someone did that flight.
That is actually pretty
Someone I
cheap.
follow on Twitter did that flight a few days ago and said it was perfectly fine. So
I
I was
don't
like,
know.
Trust that.
You're in the cargo.
I don't care. I'm in Japan.
Like a panda damn cargo, just bouncing around.
I'll take what I can get.
You're really thinking about going to these 2 shows in the
I
dome.
really want to go to Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, look, it's not that, like, the flight is not that expensive compared to normal prices. For
That's
these
not
flights.
bad. That really isn't that bad.
That's half the price
That's
of
a
like,
good
what a
deal.
normal flight is.
Here, I'll tell you too, Kaden. Let me throw this at you. You are graduating here soon.
I know. Like,
you do need a present.
so I'm thinking, I'm like, do I treat myself to a trip to Japan?
Need a little gift. What didn't you say the big issue is though you'd be there for a while?
Yeah, that was the problem. Was like I can fly out like January 1st, but to get this like the cheap flight back, I would have to stay until January 15th. So I'd be over there for 2 weeks, which like I don't mind being over there for 2 weeks because I don't have a job or anything out of college, but it's a lot of money to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, Kaden, I have some news that I don't think anybody's told you about. The yen is down.
Oh,
so
I know.
You might,
Oh, trust me. I learned that when I went in May.
could get something cheap there.
You might finagle a little something, you know.
Hey, you might get a New Japan contract.
Fuck it, might as well.
Guys, I might book this flight. If it's still like this by like next week, I think I'm gonna book it.
Well, then you just do it now.
I gotta think, Novi, I gotta let these things sit to make sure I don't make a stupid impulse decision.
That's a good call. Maybe Mercedes should have let it sit a little bit. She moved over back to American TV. Oh, I don't know. You mentioned it though, so we'll bring it up. I did forget that this was happening on the show, to be honest with you, but there is a championship celebration. They're finally going to be drinking champagne. Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May. This could be interesting. I'm smelling a Toni Storm return. Kaden, I know you felt the same about it.
Yep. I think we're getting Toni Storm's return. The way I pitched it in the group chat was I think that they're gonna have Toni return here. Either is like I think she's just gonna do a new character. I don't know why you would go back to the Wild Child of the '80s character for her, because it wasn't really that over with fans. I wouldn't do that. I would just create something new that's like an evolution of Timeless. Maybe you go to like a different era of Hollywood, so you go to like '80s Hollywood. I don't know. I think they're gonna do something like different with Timeless, and you have her return. Spend the next month of like Mina making her decision. And then like midway through December on like Winter is Coming, they do a segment. Mina turns and sides with Toni, and you do Mina and Mina and Mariah, either World's End, Wrestle Kingdom, or Wrestle Dynasty, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I think it's a smart little pathway through. You've been spouting this Australia thing. They're probably going to run it back there. I'm curious if anyone else has any thoughts on this segment.
I mean, yeah, that's about what's going to be. It does say a lot about Mariah May's talent that like nobody cares about anything she's going to do until Toni got back and Mina's visa was sorted out. So, kind of is what it is.
Yeah,
I don't need to run that title match back in Australia. I would just have her drop it to somebody, preferably Jamie or someone like that, and then just do a bloodbath in Australia and call it a day. But they won't, because they had to plan out for like a year and a half, and they're not going to give up on it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting
RJ
though,
ain't letting up that easy.
Fucking RJ.
Well, good God. We still haven't gotten the Mina feud though. And there was a little bit of a note that Mina was kind of standing behind her. There was some overshadowing going on. So maybe that could be the alternative route. They don't do the Toni stuff. They do a little turn here. I don't know. I could see that sort of thing going on. We'll see.
I don't think Mina can turn until Toni's back.
Yeah, I think Toni is coming back here. I actually think Mariah's been better the last few weeks.
I agree.
Yeah,
I liked the Anna Jay little mini feud, but I'm also higher on Anna than a lot of people, I think. But I thought it was well done. I think Mariah started to find her voice again. Now I'm saying all this. I'm not saying she should be the world champion because it doesn't feel like she should be, but I do think she's been better lately. And it'll be interesting. This segment is a real opportunity to get things back on track, because I do think Toni's coming back here. Yeah.
Oracle, anything on this one?
I really like the idea of evolving Toni's character into something different and new. That'd be an interesting twist. This is one of those deals where like they've built to it, but like they forgot about it, and then like they're bringing it up again. I don't know. It's one of those like stop and start things where they've been building to this celebration for a while, but like it's not been consistently pushed on TV until I don't know. It feels inconsistent. I did like the one Mariah promo she cut after the Anna Jay match, right?
The one where she was talking about the where the kids having dreams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that the one? That was a good promo.
That was a good promo.
That one was good.
One collision stunk to me. It doesn't hear
I don't really care so much about this. I mean, eventually they're going to have like Mina and Mariah, probably in a title match on TV. Maybe Winter's Coming or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do see Tony coming back here. I like Caden's idea of the twist of maybe Tony's character evolving into something different.
Any ideas on where we think it might go?
Well, Sportskeeda sure thinks so.
Someone actively asked Tony about that in the scrum. I'm like,
yeah, it was Sportskeeda.
serious?
Novi, what were you asking?
I'm curious to see if anyone has any ideas on where the Tony character. We've kind of like alluded to seeing some change, but any
I
ideas of where
honestly
it could
think
go?
she's still going to be timeless, personally.
Which is fine, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
It's got over. People respect it now.
Is anyone aware of the X trilogy?
Like X-Men?
Like
No,
Oh,
it's
oh,
the
horror-
horror movies.
like the horror movies? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
aware of it, but that's not really my thing.
Well, you have because you have Pearl, and then you have Maxine. I wonder if that's what she's gonna do. Is she just gonna transit? Like, it's not a perfect example. It's the best one I can think of. Is like if she's no longer stuck in the 1920s, she's now a modern movie star. She's escaped from being locked in the time span in the 1920s, the golden age of Hollywood, and now she's back into our modern reality.
You and Dr. C can come up with something really good here, Kaden.
I think we could.
Yes,
I think we actually could
Yeah.
cook something up.
that's a good idea. I do think, the retirement thing, I guess, could point to the end of timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Man
That's
points
what
it
I think
out.
it is. It's like
Yeah.
because she's no longer stuck in time.
Yeah, she's like she retired as timeless Tony, like Big Man said, but not Tony Storm. She didn't retire, Maybe Sportskeeda was right.
I don't know. I've resigned to 4-time AEW Women's Champion Tony Storm already. So
Oh, yeah, she's definitely winning it back.
yeah, drop it to Jamie soon. After that,
That Jamie
please.
match though, that's pretty sick.
Oh, but
I
would
do
drop it.
really enjoy the
Or
Jamie
nothing.
rematch because that match they've like not mentioned it like at all. It's still sitting there.
I will say, like, the division does not feel the same without her being there. I know not everyone's a huge fan of her, but I think that she really kind of found herself in the last year, so basically this year.
Bro,
Yeah, right,
post Azumi match, that was when she really started to hit her stride. That's
Yeah,
I'll always point to it. It was.
I think she started to figure. They need her back. She
Mhm.
does. She genuinely feels like a big star, and not many of their women do.
Mhm.
And a lot of some of that's their fault, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that her, I think her coming back will feel like a big boost to the entire division.
Jamie's winning that title at Forbidden Door. I forgot they were doing that in England.
That makes sense.
Shit, they
Yeah.
are.
That would make
Yeah,
sense.
That'll be where they do it.
O2 Arena going crazy.
Yep.
I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. That's
But for
fine.
now, she will be carrying Julia Hart for a little bit. But
Yeah.
I'm actually like kind of excited for that because I do like Julia isn't great in the ring, but I do quite enjoy her.
She's
good.
really her segments are really good lately. I quite enjoy
They're
them.
very good. I really like them.
This is
They're
a, this is a
those
pro
videos are
Jules
kick-ass.
platform. Yeah.
She rules, bro. But
Everyone be careful. This is a pro Julia Hart platform.
I was
I don't
pro Julia
feel
around
like
when she won the
people-
belt even.
I was
Yeah.
pro Julia when she was on fucking Dark as a
Yeah.
damn cheerleader, man. Like
I was terrified of that.
She's still really young too. Like
Yeah.
that was a
Ooh,
little too
23.
early for a title reign, but she was promising signs even still,
There's something about her, and it's not. I know how some people are going to take that, and I don't mean it that. Like, she's got like an interesting chemistry, like charisma. Like, there's something to her, and she's still so young, man. Like, it'll be interesting to see where her career goes.
She's found
It's-
something sweet with the character too.
She's not a prospect.
Yeah. The presentation is
Definitely
like
a prospect.
A1. Yeah.
I don't think so.
And the crowd
Oh,
does
here we
take
go.
to her
Not anymore.
genuinely. So like I can we don't know it's a prospect thing still.
I've actually never
Well-
been involved in the prospect thing.
Yeah, this would be
I-
new for
I
you.
I couldn't
Oh,
pass
yeah.
it up when it got brought up.
Man, I toe the line on the prospect thing with Julia Hart. I'm 50-50 because she is
won
really
she won
young.
a championship. How you can be a prospect at that?
That's why I
point?
don't
She
think
won
she's a
championship.
prospect. She
Because she
had
still
a
has-
championship run.
She still has upside.
Yeah, that's the
And
thing.
she's still young.
I think you can have
Yeah.
upside and not be a prospect, though.
True,
We're-
but we're not doing this. We're not doing
We're
this.
not
We're already
doing the
we're already
prospect.
2 hours
We
in.
are 2 hours in, bro. Good God.
Jesus
Well,
Christ. Fuck you, King.
let's do this instead. Let's get one out of the way.
Oh,
Oracle,
man.
you got another. Will Chisholm back with another 5. Very much appreciated.
If WWE match AEW money for Mercedes, but she still goes to AEW, if WWE can get her to do Marigold dates, laugh out loud.
She probably goes back, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if Tony re-signs her when her contract's up, then he's a lunatic. But wouldn't surprise me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that.
I'm like,
I don't think she wanted to work for Hunter.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, he may not be there by then. Here's another one for you to read, Oracle.
The horror.
That was KO. We probably should be reading who's paying us this money.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We apologize. We're amateurs.
New to
People
it.
feel
That's all.
good about giving us our hard-earned money. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have one more super chat sitting that we're gonna do after we finish. We're not ignoring it. We just want to. We'll do it. After we finish.
That's when you save for a closing angle. That's
yeah,
when you save.
exactly.
Is all we'll
Something's
say
close to the
there.
best, brother.
We have the main event of this show. We have a match for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley is defending against Orange Cassidy. This is their 3rd match. A lot of people consider their all-out match from last year to be one of the most underrated AEW matches ever. I
Nice
am
match.
one of those
I
people.
love
It
that
is
match so much.
absolutely amazing. I sense we could maybe see some things here, but there's someone I definitely want to point to with this. Oracle, what are your thoughts on all this going in?
So
What's
listen,
yours?
their match at all out 2023 was outstanding. Great match, classic match, in my opinion. But this Death Rider stuff just isn't for me. Like they did the Terry Funk Ric Flair angle, and that was great, and I appreciated that callback, and it was awesome. And then they followed up on it really poorly, and I like that one promo they had on the truck when Yuta, when they turned on Danielson after Wrestle Dream, the video that they opened the Dynamite after Wrestle Dream with. They're out in the truck riding around the arena, whatever. But the problem is they tried to make this into some. It seemed like it was some sort of NWA or NWO type angle, and like it's in its own universe on the show. It doesn't really bleed into other things enough. They're out there attacking Brandon Cutler. Who gives a fuck?
But hold
I
on,
mean,
that ruled.
give 2 shits
That
about
was actually a good angle. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It was.
they should beat him up on every episode.
I mean, they're just bullying people that nobody can buy and compete with them at all. Like, and I don't believe for an instant, other than I mean, Darby's going to end up beating him for the belt eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, there's not going to be any sort of interesting sort of. To me, it doesn't. It just doesn't do it for me. Like they could do some really interesting things with the Death Rider stuff. They could do a Death Riders Hurt Syndicate feud, but God knows that ain't gonna fucking happen. Because nobody wants to put anybody over.
No, yeah.
That
So
was so funny.
it's not, and this is, it doesn't really hurt Jon Moxley to face an Orange Cassidy, because he could just beat him. Like, I don't know, fragile egos, whatever. But like, this is just not really working for me. If they really wanted to make this hit, they really could have made an actual thing where it really stopped the show, right? Like when they had these attacks in the parking lot or whatever. But they didn't. They just went on to business, and they had their learning tree segments and their fucking Hurt Syndicate feud with Swerve, like nothing was going on. It's like, and here's the thing. I get it. They're not gonna do it. But like I can't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. Do something with your angles. But the problem is the inmates run the asylum. They do what they want, and this is the result of that. And if you're a fan of Moxley, great, that's fine. I've gone back and forth on Mox about a dozen times, and I'm really down on him right now. I think the match probably will be good, to be honest with you. It'll probably be a bloodbath. I'll probably pop for that. But like the whole deal is just not. It's just not for me.
It's very clear, just from watching the program, not even getting into like things we've heard or whatever, that things have changed completely on what this was supposed to be to what it's become, for a variety of reasons.
Yep.
And so, look,
Hey, man.
this is the best way I can put it.
Could have been so much worse.
And I feel,
So much worse.
yeah. I feel like I'm probably going to be the high man on the panel here. I don't hate the angle. I do think it suffers from not living up to what it potentially could have been. But I think just looking at it as it is, I don't hate it. I think they need to ramp it up. I think we're kind of running in place a little bit. And the orange thing, I've liked the presentation of orange. I've liked what they've done with orange here, but at the same time, it's hard to get worked up about Orange Cassidy right now. And we all know he's not going to win. But I do like how they've built to him kind of like firing up. And I have liked some of these segments where he's shown fire. But I do think, like, I thought the ending of Dynamite was kind of stupid. Like,
A little bit.
come on, man. Like, he didn't want the fucking conglomeration to help him during the match. That doesn't make any sense to them to not save him after the match or somebody else. Or like, we just saw it. We have another thing going on in the company right now, which I said earlier I liked, where these baby faces have banded together against the common enemy, and yet we're not doing it in this other, like, and there's a lot of issues here. I think it's very apparent, and I'm not even saying this, like, I think it's very apparent that Mox has complete control of what he's doing, which is going to be very limiting, because I think there's a lot of people in the company that he's not going to do anything with, he's not going to work with. Some of them he's right, but some of them he's not right. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be,
right.
It puts it into such a box where it lives out in this separate world. And, I think the conclusion will be very fulfilling when we get there, because I think Darby winning the title is a big deal. I don't know how
that middle
It's
of it, though.
huge.
Yeah. And I don't know what it's going to look like after he wins the title. I don't feel like Darby's a long reign guy, so probably, but that moment will be very cool. But yeah, it's going to be, the story I still feel like has potential, but I just don't know if it's ever going to reach it. The Death Riders group needs to evolve. They need to add people. You can't go crazy with it. I don't want 20 people in the group.
Yeah, you can't go full NWO and just add everybody in the fucking company.
Yeah,
but they
should also have some allies too. It shouldn't just be the baby faces having the allies. Like, there should be people that believe what he believes too.
The Elite should have been that.
That's also true.
That's the other thing that I'm not. And look, I cannot believe that we're now going to build to the Elite coming back as baby faces to fight these guys. Like, and I know some people, and I'm not going to do the big Elite anti, but I just can't believe that that's what we're going to after we did this whole thing where they fucking tried to take over the company, and now they're going to, like, I don't know, man.
It would have been a lot better if, like, the Death Riders are basically just the cartel, the Elite, where, like, the corrupt ass police just let them get away with it as long as you don't hurt them.
Yeah.
That could have
Because
worked.
they were avoiding them like really hard when they were on the show. That was like a prominent thing. When they escaped in the van in the car, that was because they knew the Death Riders were coming.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
could make a bigger point of that.
It's just a difficult thing to do because this needs to be an incredibly overarching story, but everything exists in like a different pocket because you have Swerve over here busy with the Hurt Syndicate. You got Ospreay busy over here with Kyle and Don Cal's family. And you don't have enough like big, prominent baby faces that are like actively involved in this, or at least like passively acknowledging what's going on. And this is where you desperately miss like the Copelands and the Eddie Kingston's of the world.
Yes.
Because they're
Eddie's-
credible, they're veterans, you believe in them. They could be involved in this. They could be actual challengers to Mox in some places down the line. You could do Revolution here, World's End there. And I believe it. But now you're kind of in a vacuum.
And I'll even say this, and I know that this is not going to be the most. There's a couple people that this won't even be popular with, but like, why are FTR not involved in this? Because they are actually like the crowd sees them as legitimate like baby faces. They're not really doing anything. They're treading water. Like, why are they not heavily involved in this angle? Like that doesn't make sense to me. And I know some people aren't huge fans of them, but like. The crowd does buy them as like legitimate, like they react to them like they're stars, and they're not doing anything. They're fucking teaming up with the Outrunners.
You know what? I don't know. Like, it's just it bothers me because it's like, and again, it's like, why didn't Swerve give a shit when this happened? Why didn't?
Why doesn't Ospreay care?
Why didn't Ospreay? Well, why don't these major stars care?
They could at least mention it one time.
MJF got AEW tattooed on his ankle, and he hasn't said shit about it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
This
it's a
is
weird
why
thing.
you don't do angles like that unless you go all the way. You can't, you
can't halfway something like this. Like it has to be all hands on deck.
And they should have learned that too with the whole elite angle. They should have learned that like you can't do anything half-assed. This has to be a full company-wide thing, and it hasn't really.
They did aspects of it better than what the Death Riders are doing.
Yeah,
Eddie mentioned it in promos. Copeland mentioned it in promos. No one's doing it now.
Yeah.
At least they did some aspects better, at least early.
It's a big problem.
It all goes down to nobody's there to say. Nobody's there to say to these guys, nope, this is how it's going to go. And when you don't have that, this is what we get because people can't work with one another.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying how it is, Like,
You're right. You made a good point earlier. It's just like inmates running the asylum a little bit. You kind of have to, with this kind of angle, you can't have that happening. You have to, have a plan. You have to have some goals going on. I don't know, Kaden, you haven't said much about this. I'm curious. You sighed a little bit there. You seem dejected.
A lot of thoughts.
You have a lot of thoughts.
I think and I have very strong feelings because in a vacuum, I actually quite enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah,
the product in a vacuum, taking every little bit of history, taking the rest of the company out of it, everything. I like what they are doing inherently. The issue is there is no oversight, no foresight, no overhead. Like, I don't know what the right word is, but there's a lack of vision. There's a lack of sprawlingness.
All of those are correct, I'd say.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, those all are pretty apt.
Yeah.
And this is a problem of the way AEW is booked, and we know the way WWE is booked and how Hunter does his things where he does he likes to do the wide visions and he says, this is what I want here and here. And then you have his people below him that filter everything. And Vince did something similar, right? You have your basic idea, and Vince was more hands-on, but it was kind of you have your overarching ideas from your main booker, and then the writers and producers and everything get into the nitty-gritty. AEW is known to not be that way. That's not breaking news. It's not how it is. A lot of people come up with their ideas. They talked about how Moxley is booking almost all of this, is writing almost all of this, and Tony's just kind of being like, okay. And that's how AEW is. And that's how it's been from day one. That's how it's probably always going to be. And the issue is when Tony Khan is not saying, I want this here, and I want to do this and this, and he's letting people book their own shit. it leads to a disjointed show, and it leads to no overarching stories that take everything over, because that's not how it works whenever you book it like that. You're booking in segments like that, and you're throwing it all in, and it doesn't work when you're trying to do a story like this. I think it's perfectly fine most of the time, actually, because that's what AEW, like, that's what Kenny always wanted, was a variety show. He always talks about he wanted AEW being a variety show, and that's fine. But whenever you're doing anything like this, you do need everything to be involved in it, and you need that foresight to say, I want to hit this beat here and this beat here. How do we get to it? Instead of, well, I'm going to do my story, and then Don's going to do his story, and Jericho's going to do his story here, and nothing then connects because no one's actually working together. You aren't trying to hit these things because everyone's coming up with their own ideas and it's coming together. You need foresight. You need a booker to be a booker. That's what your job is. Book what you want, say this is what you want to do, come up with ideas, and you take insight from people. And I have no issue with taking insight from people, but Mox is like fully running this. I don't think Tony's had a single idea. Like maybe he's had a few, but like it's Mox. Mox is doing this.
Also, do you really want Mox running something in full? Also,
No.
Fuck no.
Any wrestler running anything full.
Yeah, you got to have the connective tissue. You know, the one thing that we always pointed to when we talked about it, when I've talked about it, I wanted to see Renee mention it. I wanted to see Ospreay mention it. I want to see Swerve mention it. And that's the connective tissue. That's how you make everybody's story feel like, okay, this is going on, but we have to deal with this first and we can, get to there. There hasn't been any of that. Like nobody's mentioning it outside of that. It's the bubble conversation. It's the biggest problem of all of it.
Yep. The biggest part for me is the guys who aren't doing anything. I think that Jake brought it up in the chat where like Garcia and Private Party just kind of moved on. Mm-hmm. To me, that's almost realistic. Because that's how most people are. They got into their own thing and they wanted to win titles and they quit caring about the company as a whole. And that's how most people operate in real life. But there's a lot of people right now who ain't doing shit and they should probably care about this. To me, that's, and I should be clear that I don't believe this is the story AEW is telling. It just coincidentally works. That's just how people tend to operate in real life. Even the quote unquote good guys, as you get caught up in your own story and that's the end of it. But yeah, there's a lack of connective tissue. It doesn't feel like AEW is a overarching world or whatever, however you want to put it. And like you said, Kaden, I don't really have an issue with that most of the time because I do think that's how things generally operate. But when you're going to do a story like this where you have to kind of do it, you're not doing it. So
this is a rare example of like having someone like a Rob Fee running continuity. And I don't even know if it's continuity technically, but like finding out ways how you can connect the dots. And maybe it's Moxley saying, I don't want this fucker involved in my story. Like, it's possible.
It probably is.
I mean, it probably is. But it doesn't matter. Like, you gotta have these things connecting whenever it's this big of an angle, or else it just doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And that's something Tony needs to, like, come on. That's something you got, and we always talk about Tony needs to step up. And that's something where you need to step up and you say, no, John, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. I think I'm safe enough to say that there's a lot of politics in play in WWE now too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Always.
But they react, but they're able to react and say, okay, this person wants to be here, whatever, and they can plug it in, and they can. It might be a stretch sometimes, but you can still make sense of it, right? There's still a ship controlling it, Mm-hmm. There's still people steering it, right? Even with all the politics in play. Now that might fall down eventually, right? But I mean, there's still a ship steering it.
You're a big fan of Oracle physically steering there.
All right.
Oh yeah, my steering. Well, turn around it,
He was driving the GX over there. What's going on?
But like it, for example, you can make sense of CM Punk being on the War Games team. You can make sense of it. There's a connection there. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But like there doesn't seem to be any sort of, one person can get mad or whatever, and it could just throw everything into a loop.
There's no captain, like you think about like the wheel of a pirate ship, right? They got everything poking out. It seems like everybody's trying to grab one that's poking out there, and there's no one there to like swat their hands away. So I'm steering.
It's like
I'm
a bunch of
telling us
little
where we're gonna go.
fiefdoms. And my thing about Mox in this story, quite honestly, I feel like Claudio's a bigger deal than Mox in some ways. He feels a lot more menacing in the way he's presented.
The Darby match.
Murders Darby every chance he gets. Like, that was an uncomfortable view. I don't feel all that uncomfortable with Mox. I just feel like Mox just hates his fucking life when he's out there.
A little weird guy. Keeps quoting some weird things. That's what
He
I'm
just
thinking
quoting weird
about.
things. Here's the soldiers in my command. Meanwhile, I have Claudio fucking von Wolfskin going out and speaking German, and me being afraid he's going to throw bananas at me in the damn crowd. And then he goes out there and murders Darby Allin in front of everyone. It's like...
Jeez.
I'm just saying, bro, German just feels like the type of language where I'm being called all types of racial slurs I've never heard of. And he's out there, he's 6 foot whatever, 240 pounds, moves like lightning, is a fucking brick house, and he kills people every time he's out there. He feels like the top shooter out there. Mox just feels like a crazy old man I see outside of my damn drive-through liquor store and just says a bunch of riddles. Yeah, maybe he could do something, but I've seen you get choked out by fucking Walmart employees, John. I don't believe you.
And he's the one who's thinking all the slurs, but at least Claudio's saying them,
With conviction. At least he watched Romper Stomper.
Oh god. The one thing I also want to say, I got 2 things. One, this story desperately misses Eddie Kingston. He's so perfect for this. It's so sad that he's not going to make it. And the other thing I want to say about this too, when you follow like a team in basketball, right? And you say, all right, the Pelicans are going to get 30 wins. When they go above and beyond, they hit 45. Maybe they even reach 50. You're like, that's a good fucking team. You feel better about it because they beat expectations. But you say the Pelicans are, they're going to make 50 wins. They're going to make playoffs. They're going to be like the 3 seed. And then they're in the play-in tournament sitting at, 39, 40 wins. You feel lesser on them. You feel like that's the most awful season. 40 wins still a good season, but you feel lesser about them. It's like the Mox angle. We thought they would get 60 wins. We thought they were going to have a hell of a time. And they're sitting there about 39, 40. Good season, but it's no 60 wins. So we're all feeling bad about it. It's
That's
like
under 500, brother. 40 wins is under 500.
Yeah, but 40 wins, it's close. It's close. But at least it's not 60 like we all thought it'd be. So we're all feeling worse about it. We all don't... expectations are a big thing, and we all had high expectations, especially after that bag angle. That's like you set yourself up there. You gotta have something more planned. A lot of containment things, a lot of things said. I think we got through all of it. Is there anything else that anyone wants to mention about the whole Mox thing?
We need to stop with the blank is taking over AEW story. We've had 2 this year. Literally the Elite stuff ended, and then like the Elite stuff hadn't even like technically ended because they never like fully wrapped it up, and we went right into the Death Rider stuff. We need to end those angles like badly. And I remember saying it at the time when the Death Riders thing started, was like, oh, this is what they wanted the Elite to be, and they didn't follow up on it. So this could be like where they could actually correct themselves and make it work, learn from the mistakes. And I put too much trust in Tony Khan.
Some aspects of it are actually worse than the Elite, because at least they actually did the whole address what's going on thing with some cases with the Elite.
They had blood and guts too.
The Elite stuff has worked, and I didn't love how they handled the Elite stuff for the most part. Like after Blood and Guts, not after Blood and Guts, after Anarchy. I thought after Anarchy kind of like went to shit with the Acclaimed, but at least like everybody mentioned it on TV.
True.
Their big pitfall was that people got hurt, and then you put the Acclaimed in it, and then it was like, okay, whatever. Here, it's just not enough credible guys are involved yet. And I need it to happen very, very soon, or else the middle is going to be kind of whatever. And we know the outcome is going to be awesome, but I kind of want to watch the middle.
Yeah, I want to be excited about I want to be excited about some stuff in the next couple months because that Derby, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'm picturing Revolution, and that's far away out. You know, I want to enjoy it while we're there. We'll see. We'll see. I think the match will be good. That's kind of the broad thing about this show. I think the matches will probably be pretty damn good, but there's definitely a lot of holes you can poke.
Hilariously, I'm quite looking forward to this show.
Me too.
The match is so good.
AEW pay-per-views are bad until they aren't. Like that's just the prevailing thought with it.
You can poke all the holes in it when we go.
The whole
but-
Martin Scorsese movie talking about how fucking and then we're all like, it'll be good.
We'll be excited about it.
I agree. Actually, I think it probably will be a pretty good show.
I'll probably end up giving it like an 8.
I don't, because I mean, the chat's talking about like in my real life, I don't analyze wrestling to the degree that we're doing on here anymore. So I actually enjoy the show more often than not. But we can't do a preview of the show and not address the fact that there's been a ton of holes in the build. That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But
we'd be here for an hour if we're just saying, "Oh, good match." You know, it's.
But I'm genuinely looking forward to the show. Like I'm excited to sit down and.
It's a good card.
Yeah,
they got a lot of tickets sold.
It's a bunch of singles matches too.
Yeah.
There should be a lot of like we could see where things are going after this. A lot of direction, hopefully afterwards.
There's also like a lot of opportunities for things that could shock us. I'm not like there's some that could shock me where I'm like not necessarily like against the idea. Like I don't if they really want to do like the thing I mentioned about Ricochet and Takeshita, if they want to take that belt off Takeshita to have him beat Okada in the Dome, I'm not fully against that.
Yeah. There could be some like surprising outcomes for some of these matches, you know?
Yeah.
I can envision that.
And the important thing is as soon as this pay-per-view ends, we're going right into the Continental Classic, and that's
we're locked in for the C2.
Man, that's
Dude, I thought you were gonna say we're
the most awesome AEW in a long time. Like last November, December was the most I've been.
I love the Continental Classic last year. Like
I have a very positive memory of the C2. Really. When it first started, I was in Kentucky for Thanksgiving because I was visiting family, and I remember we were at this Airbnb, and I'm pulling this up in this like kind of shitty house. I'm just watching these fellas have some good matches to Raising Cane's. I ate 3 times over that trip because it made me so happy. And I just remember, bro, it is what it is, man. And you know what the crazy part is too? The first day we went to Raising Cane's, we sat down and someone didn't pick up their like order and the place was closing. They're like, "Oh, do you want this?" And it was like a 6-piece combo. I took it home, ate the next day. It was awesome.
Nice.
I love, bro. It is what it is, bro. Big guys got to eat, but I love sitting down for some good matches. I think they're gonna like. There's like the lineup could be pretty sick. There's a lot of names you can point to.
And Samoa Joe's coming back soon.
And Samoa Joe's coming back soon.
I need to get
Jericho, but
that's some flavor. It's Hammerstein, brother. Hammerstein's coming soon.
Look, all bits is everything about Ring of Honor. Like, I am excited to give it a shot when they get the TV show. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it'll be good for the entire company, honestly, just because it'll give a few more people. Like, Ring of Honor is, it's not a great place to be right now.
Who could care at the moment?
Yeah, it's just kind of there. It's something
if they
that
get it on TV, then at least it gives you some element of it gives more people something to do. Hopefully, we see a little bit more split of the roster, in terms of who goes where, and
see some up and comers.
Yeah, I would imagine Athena's probably going to shift to AEW, which may not go well for her, but hopefully it does. So I mean, there's it's going to be an interesting few months, which I say this every time, and then it's the same as it always is. But
we're seeing some things though that I think could kind of spell like December. We got the C2. Hammerstein shows the smaller buildings. There's a lot you can point to for some positive signs going into the new year.
Yeah. I think the next 45 days for AEW will be very good because the C2, Hammerstein, and you have the Tokyo shows.
Yeah, the World's End show will be that'll be like I think it'll be different because
that's gonna be fascinating.
I'm waiting for this card to decide if I'm going. I need more concrete answers on what's going to be on the show.
Yeah, there's some exciting things to point to, and then of course you mentioned too the Tokyo shows, Tokyo Dome. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. But
if they're getting Kenny back after the Gabe Kidd match, and he's not staying in Japan, which I genuinely don't know what that man's going to do. If they can get Kenny back though in the Revolution, that'll be like a godsend.
Yeah, I think so as well. But
They need him badly.
yeah, it's good. There's a lot of positive signs. There are some, positive things on the show. There's some not so positive. That's how things go. It is what it is. But we have a super chat that's been sitting here for a while. Very positive. Something we have to bring up. Again, I think it's a great way to close. We have Ave here with the 5. I don't know what currency is that. What currency is that?
Australian, I think.
Australian.
It looks like
Oracle, do your thing, brother.
Morning, lads. Would you rather a clone of the Rizzler or a lightsaber?
What would the clone of the Rizzler do for me?
Yeah.
I'm not Matt Gates, so I'm taking the lightsaber.
Oh my god,
Bro.
I wouldn't even go that far. That calls
Wow.
Good God, bro.
Jesus.
I've had that lined up for 2 hours now.
Listen, bro.
You should have kept that in the line, bro.
I've watched way too many sci-fi, way too many science fiction movies, too many science movies, period, to want clones because I know how bad these things can get and I know how weird those things are. Especially when that time they try to clone sheep, that shit did not go well. The lightsaber has an actual benefit because it could be protection for me.
Yeah.
Somebody try to rob me, I just whip out the lightsaber and cut your ass to pieces.
There you go.
Give me
And the
lightsaber.
thing is, we already have a Rizzler. Do we need a clone? Really?
No,
But he's good as he is. He's gonna ring the bell.
we don't need 2.0. We don't need an L clone. We don't need a 2.0.
So this
That's
is
LG.
So like in theory, like if I pick a lightsaber, I've got my own shoot lightsaber then, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, why wouldn't I pick that?
We could have your own shoot
Exactly.
Rizzler.
I don't want some fucking little kid in my house making funny faces and shit. Like,
I already have one.
give me the lightsaber.
My cat low-key looks like he's mewing me at all given times, so I don't need that. I'm good. Lightsaber for me as well.
Exactly.
Who hasn't given their answer? Oracle? You haven't said which one you'd pick.
Oh, I definitely take the lightsaber, man.
Wouldn't it be funny if you said I'd definitely pick the Rizzler, though?
A deadly weapon, but
Well, the Rizzler could be a deadly weapon that you don't know about. Think about that. Let it sit. You don't know what he can do. You don't know what he's capable of. Did you see the way he looked at Big Justice the other day?
yeah.
Hey, man.
It's,
No, I
there's
did
a
not.
killer in those eyes. Killer.
Oracle said, "Yeah, like you didn't see that shit, bro. What are you
What?
talking
I
about?"
actually did watch that
Stop.
clip. I watched that clip. I did.
Okay.
I legit did watch that clip.
You big Costco guys fan?
No, not really. No.
What would you say? Did you say?
What?
Did you pick?
Yes.
You say the Rizzler, of course, right? I'm assuming.
I said, do you not remember what I said? Yeah, I remember what my answer
Yeah,
was.
man, he made a
Slow,
fucking.
man.
Don't make him say
Oh,
it again.
good
I'm saying
point.
it again.
It slipped my head here. We've been here for a while, folks. It is what it is, man.
I'm
It
gonna
is what
say,
it
man,
is.
it landed all perfectly. We don't need to do it again because diminishing
Yeah.
returns and all that.
No need to run it back for a second time.
No, it landed so well.
Like the Undisputed Era in 2024.
Or wherever the fuck Caden's flying on. We don't need to do that. That's okay. This has been a fun show, I think. I've had a good time on it. Hope you guys have had a blast. So we have some plugs to do, of course, though. Let's go around the room here. Shoot, you start.
What tomorrow? You guys are doing a Grin along, right?
Correct.
For our late night Grin Gold members.
Mm.
I got paid today, so thank you to all of you for that.
Hey, hit my account too, brother.
Yeah, let me brother a little bit of change in my pocket too.
Hey, man upstairs. He ain't here right now. That's a private conversation, brother.
Hey, man.
I don't
What
know
do you
what
do with
else
that here?
goes on. I don't know what other shows are going on. Tuesday, I can talk about my show. Our show. We're going to be booking the Big Bang pay-per-view as we launch our 2001 WCW project in TW9. Joe and I have been exchanging ideas, booking the territory. We've got a big new alliance with Noah and CMLL, which we'll go in depth more on Tuesday. That's about it. You can follow me on the Butterfly app. I don't go on Twitter anymore. I haven't deleted my account. Maybe I'll come back one day, but hopefully not. That's about it. Like the video,
Good call.
leave comments. Once the video ends, go in there and leave comments. Tell us whether you'd rather have a clone of the Rizzler or a clone of a lightsaber. You can make Matt Gates jokes if you want, I guess. That'll make Bob angry.
He's been gone for a while dealing with that sort of business. So
Yeah.
Bob is in Mar-a-Lago right now interviewing for the AG position.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hopefully him and Joe don't run into each other. But
could get violent quick.
Kaden, your plugs.
I will be tomorrow morning at noon. I guess it's today technically, so in like a few hours, I'll be at the Gator football game as we take on the Ole Miss Rebels. We're going to beat Lane Kiffin. He grew up a Gator fan, and we're going to ruin his hopes and dreams in the swamp at noon.
Damn right.
It's my last college football game as a student, so I genuinely really hope we win. We probably
Going
won't.
out sad.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go out sad. But
These are not
I have
going to
hope.
the promised land. Believe, Caden.
I got hope in DJ Lagway and the Florida Gators. I think we're gonna do it. And then tomorrow night, AEW Full Gear Grin Along. I will be here, and then I will literally be going from that Grin Along into watching the F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix that is at 1 a.m. for some reason. So
Wow.
it's a night race, so it's at 1 a.m. because it's at like 10 p.m. local time in Vegas. So busy day tomorrow.
Sounds like a hoot though. Or cool.
Yeah, it'll be a pretty good day.
So, tomorrow, after the South Carolina Gamecocks hopefully pull out their 8th victory of the season and defeat Wofford, I will be present for the Full Gear Grin Along. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, the obscurities of the Ruthless Aggression era mid-card with 8 matches. I don't even. Just look up the tweet because I put all kinds. There's a Tatanka match. There's Eddie and Tajir for the U.S. title. There's Randy and Edge for the IC title. Carlito and Shelton for the IC title as well. There's 8 matches, folks. Join Joe and myself at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. I believe there will be a double header on Tuesday after Joey and Maddie are done. I believe we're going to have Rick Rude, Grin Grapple at 9 p.m. Eastern. Rick Rude, Grin Grapple at 9 p.m. Eastern. Me, myself, Contrarian Alex, Bobby O'Neill, coming back from Mar-a-Lago, hopefully with Joe in tow. So, that's the schedule there. I believe we will have, I think we are going to do a Survivor Series preview. I should be there on Friday, November 29th at 11:05 p.m. Eastern with myself, Joe, Bobby, and Chris Bordine. Then there'll be a Survivor Series Grin Along next Saturday on November 30th.
Oracle, can I ask you a question before we let
Yes.
Marcus do his plugs?
Yes, sir.
If you were taking over World Championship Wrestling in 2001 in a scenario where the company survived, but they lost all the Time Warner buyouts still, so they don't have any of those guys, would you sign Tatanka?
Yeah, sure. He's fucking awesome.
Okay, I'm going to take note of that. All right, Marcus, your plugs?
Well, catch me over on the whole X app every so often, and I'm on Blue Sky, same handle, Marcus Davis 904. And the next time I am on here, behind the old paywall, I promised you all be getting the story of how I got banned from a Wingstop.
Let's go.
Hell
If
yeah.
you are not a subscriber yet, now's your chance.
Mine
We'll be
just
dropping
gotta
engagement.
switch.
Have to.
Sounds like a hoot. I think the next time you'll be on, probably. We don't have a date. Relight the fuse.
We have a date.
We have a date now.
Yes, did we not book a date?
Did we?
Like
I
last
don't
night,
know.
Novi?
Oh no, we totally did, didn't we?
Yeah, we will be doing it on Thursday, December 19th.
Yep, that's right. It's sitting right here. Whoops. Forgot about all.
Mark it down. December 19th, everybody.
December 19th. We're hoping for a 4-man booth over on that one with Chuck. Should be joining us once again, but I got a few plugs before we head out of here. You know, the old YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Noviak.
One more thing.
One more
If
thing.
Jack Perry wins, like Monty said on the Dynamite review, he will be boycotting. Either way, I win.
In it to win it. As I was saying, there's a new video out tomorrow on the YouTube channel talking about AEW needing a developmental system for their talent, giving my take on it, all that good stuff. Wednesday, back with the Dynamite pre-show. Kaden, you should be on that. I booked you a long time ago, so hopefully.
You did book me on that. I forgot that I was booked on that. Thank you for the reminder.
I got you, brother. I got you. No problem.
Hey, Novi, make sure to everybody smash that like button. All right, smash that like button.
Mm-hmm.
Smash that like button, folks. We're gonna head out of here. Oh, we couldn't?
No, there you go.
Completely out of frame.
Now it's big. Now it's big. Now it's
There
right
we
in the
go.
dead center
There we go.
frame. Smash the like button. Leave a comment. Rizzler, lightsaber, your choice. And Shu, you gonna press the end stream button or should I?
I was just about to ask you that, so I'll hit the button.
It's all right.
Folks.
All you.
What does Joe always say? Some British shit.
Keep grinning.
Keep grinning. We'll see you on down the trail. Beans and toast, whatnot. Goodbye.